Hello everyone. Welcome back to more AI Somnium Files. Hope you're having a good day. My dyspraxia is getting the better of me. There are certain things I like to do in certain ways and I've not been able to do them. And that has been untold amounts of frustration. But I'm going to try and get past that. A little recap to what we saw last week. This story is pretty interesting. I'm trying to give you as raw memory of what I can remember doing last week.
Hello! Hey there!
So, we began the story and we were in the playground at some sort of like twilight hour, raining, and we saw the buddy, and the buddy had no actual stab stick, a pick or whatever, but we had a woman who was strapped onto a horse, dead, one eye poked out. It was pretty hideous, pretty gnarly. We asked the local investigator what his name was, and he said something beginning with K. Can't remember more than that. Then we also were told that our boss, our female boss, our like very seductive, sort of like Miss Robinson style boss. Are you seducing me, Miss Robinson? You know, like that kind of thing. Brought us here because we have certain abilities that we can use with our AI, with our buddy that's stuck in our eye. And yeah, she basically said that, you know, we're here to investigate the murder. We move into a sort of a flashback, sort of like one of the Somniums, for whatever reason at the end of that, given to us and directed to us by our buddy AI, who we get introduced into their female human form, but they're like a weird robot thing. And we discover a room that has a whole bunch of things. It has a skeleton, it has a bottle of wine, it has a lampshade that we interact with, all these things. And it also has a winter iris that we interact with, and we're told the winter iris is supposed to bring happiness and hope. Towards the end of that little flashback thing, we find a little bit of a cutscene when we get the gun, which is a key, and we open the door. And we see a dead woman, another one, different one, lying on the floor with a man that we don't know, that presumably maybe killed her. We don't have an actual like footage of that, but you know, he's there and he doesn't seem particularly stressed out or anything. So then we teleport ourselves back to the real world in the boss's room, her desk. She's sitting on her desk in a very sort of like evocative manner. I don't know why. I just think that's okay. But whatever. We explore around the desk, everything, whatever. She talks about how if we knew her really, then we wouldn't need to ask how far she's got on the job and whatever. And we also ask about our past, but she says that she's not going to tell us. And she wants our help, but she's not willing to trust us to tell us things that she knows that we don't, which is very suspicious. We get told about like who sent in the information that we heard about this murder case, and it was a little boy. And we get to hear about the destination of where he lives with his mother. So we go over to that place, which is like a diner, a weird sort of derelict diner. She seems a little kooky, seems a little forgetful, like I probably am with some of the parts of this recap. But she tells us that he likes spending time with his succubus, his addiction to lemniscate. We find out that it's about lemniscate, and we find out that he's very interested in an idol called Aset. So we go over to lemniscate, which is, by the way, owned by the presumed father. Oh, there's a couple things I've already missed. Like I say, it is kind of a recap. But we find the daughter of the mother hidden in the playground, in the rotary with the horses, whatever you call that. What do you call that? You know, with the pick in hand, unable to speak. She's suffering from this biological sort of like trauma experience thing that means that she can't speak anymore. At least for a time. She'll recover, but you know, give her some time. So yeah, her father owns Lemniscape. We go to Lemniscape, we talk about things with this little boy that we've met. He's very interested in trying to lure this idol called Aset, the one that he buys figurines and shit off. And we realize that he, through our helpful buddy, our robot buddy who's stuck in our eye, AI, we find out that he's been, what's the word? What is the goddamn word? But basically using several accounts to try and make himself look better, whereby he has some accounts that are attacking her, and then he has his account, his genuine account, that is like defending her, and like looking good, and pretending to be, you know, fucking like playing the whole act, being all sides of that little debate to make him look like the good guy. She probably doesn't fall for it. She's probably luring him. She's probably like, oh, you know, because given the character that this Aset is, she's probably smart enough to know what he's doing. But she'd rather play the fool to him so that she can have him by her little finger. That's my assumption. Anyway, she gets introduced to us because she comes out Aset from the inside the Lemniscape building. We get introduced directly to Aset, and we discuss a little bit. I mean, we hear that the boy also talked about what he sent over to the police to her, so she wants to find out more. We say that we're going to leave back to the scene of the crime, and she's like holding us to want to go there. Therefore, when we tell her that we can't take her, she resorts to some underhanded activity by staging a video to try and get us into trouble, and say she won't release it if we take her to the scene. So our gullible selves, for whatever reason, decides that this is worthy enough reason to take her. So we do. We talk about her to her in the car. She pretends to be psychic, whatever. And we get to the scene. When we're at the scene, she like talks about some older references and gives the idea that she's not only 18, because we apparently heard that she's 18 in the building. Yeah. And then we head back and we try to figure out how, when there was no footage, how the buddy got there in the first place. And we're currently trying to like move things along instead of taking too much time. We're currently back at the boss's office, where she has the daughter of the deceased, who was living with us. Still mute, but we have to tap into her brain with our abilities to try and figure out more information and get more closer to the truth. So that's where we are at. I know I skipped some parts. Like I say, it's totally from memory, all of that. So it's not going to be perfect, but I thought I'd just say something. It's a very interesting story. I really like it. I really like what I'm seeing. I mean, it's a little graphic. I don't know what to do to stop that, but it's very interesting. And I have my ideas. That's when we took her back. That's when we drove Aset in the car. Oh yeah, we saw her mother as well. She took us back to her place, and we talked to her mother, and we realized that the mother was the same woman that we saw in the dream, and the room was the same room that we saw in the dream with the winter iris and everything. Yeah. All right, so we have a little room here. We have Paul. Can we? There's an enormous machine behind the window. This machine is known as the P-Sync machine, or the sync machine. Strange strings of characters and figures scroll across the monitor. A binder full of papers. Looks like the manual for the P-Sync machine. Because I think sync doesn't need a P at the beginning, right? Unless it is just sync. In which case, what is the P for? Personality? I don't know. Psychological sync? That's Pewter. His real name is Aminoma, but he goes by Pewter here. 36 years old. He's a member of Abyss, like me. He's a genius engineer that designed the P6 system and other machines. He also invented Iba. Iba is the full name of our robot friend. He's her caretaker in a way. Yeah, which means that if I was actually spying on us, unintentionally perhaps, he could probably find information from her, which might very well be keeping an eye on our activity. How's Mizuki doing? Mizuki is the daughter. Mizuki is the daughter of the deceased that we are trying to P-sync with. She's the woman that's currently attached to that machine. She's sitting in the chair there. About Aiba, how's Mizuki doing? You're sure this is okay?
She's only 12. You sure this is okay?
The machine is safe. I can guarantee that. You have nothing to worry about.
One less to worry about. I don't know where that's from, but I know some streams that have that. How's Mizuki doing? About Aiba.
Hey, Pewter. About Iba. Could you do something about her personality?
This is a joke response.
Do something about it?
It wouldn't kill her to be more modest. Maybe a little more ladylike?
What does that even mean for starters? And B, she's lady enough. What the hell?
If you dare reprogram me, I will self-destruct in your eye socket.
Sounds like a woman. I mean,
Huh. So you were listening, huh?
Her vitals are stable.
What's a clever plan, I suppose?
Her EEG is also stable. I think we can proceed.
Just a shadow. Nice. Just a bicky. No big deal. Just a bicky. Hey! You gotta remember, one thing that I didn't notice last time that I've noticed from other people playing, because other people started this game too recently, which is strange. But whatever. I thought they would have done it by now if they were interested. Although obviously I'm interested as well. Never mind. What I mean is, some of the things that I might have missed were because I didn't realize what kind of scope we had around the camera. Long table.
This kind of furniture is often used for pile drivers in professional wrestling.
So that's something I might have missed, was because I didn't use the camera in that weird way.
Where on earth did you learn that?
It was cool to know about. I opened it up. It's completely packed with books. Huh, they're all homoerotic, BL manga, and gay romance novels. Interesting, Peter. Interesting. Okay. A metal shelf placed along the wall. A CRT monitor.
Look! It's the girl from that horror movie, coming out of the well!
Okay.
What the hell are you talking about?
These days, it's almost like it's, more respectable if it is gay. It's really strange. CRT monster, no one crawled out of it yet. Oh, you mean like Persona? Nice. There's nothing on the monitor. I don't think Persona designed the idea of going for TVs. I'm pretty sure there were films that did that first as well. But still. And probably books as well. The exit. Oh good, let's go. I'll lock it.
Searching. Classic. Alternative. Progressive.
That's rock.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rochambeau. Not that kind of rock. That is kind of humor that's in this game though, so I kind of like. I think it kind of knows me pretty well. The door to the P-Sync room. So we're gonna go through there soon, huh? Just want to make sure that I don't miss out on anything. It's definitely worth going for, I think. My kind of rock is heavy metal.
Hey, Patrick. Welcome.
I love house and chill out. I actually made a tweet about it. I've been listening to one particular track recently, really a lot. I've been absolutely loving it. I didn't know about them. This is actually 7 years old stuff, and hopefully this doesn't come across as like trying to plagiarize their work or anything. I mean, I'm trying to give them credit or whatever. But I really like this group, and I need to listen to more of their stuff. I really like this the song that I linked. Let me just get... I don't know why it's difficult for me to find that. Weightlifting. Have you seen this game, Patrick? I absolutely love that song. I'm very much a house and chill out type guy. It's a shame, because I have very similar tastes to some people who unfortunately thought it best to get rid of me. Oh. That's how it is. But yeah, But not all of it. I watch streams of people I follow.
Yay, cool.
Well, you can watch this one if you follow as well. I do like Spike Jonsoft. As you probably know, Mizuki, I'm looking forward to knowing more about Mizuki, because I said quite a bit that I actually found it really attractive. She's much more my type than this boss lady. Those are Spike Jonsoft based, inspired emotes. You could argue, at least for the longest time, if not still today, that they're from my favorite series of video games, even though I still have yet to play UDG. But yeah. Boss is watching Mizuki through the glass. Are you sure you want to do this? Did you get Renju's permission? Any progress on the investigation? Shibura say, if you knew me, you wouldn't have to ask that. That doesn't help. You're so suspicious. Blackmail?
Renju Okiura is Mizuki's legal guardian.
Yeah, Danganronpa's great.
Oh yeah. Woo.
Aoi Asahina, Mikan Sumiki. Even though I'm not a big fan of tears, not saying that I don't cry myself, I do quite a bit. But I'm quite an emotional person. But Mikan Sumiki was my favorite, absolute favorite character in SDR2. 100%. She was my waifu.
Did you get permission from him?
Forgive me already.
I couldn't get in touch with him.
What? I thought he was being questioned by a local unit.
Indeed. I do protect Mikan for sure.
His questioning ended around noon.
For me, it goes Celeste, who's quite evil, and for some reason has a lot of things that I usually don't like about women. Although could say men, but I mean it's women. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything. I'm attracted to women. I'm not attracted to men, so. But I can appreciate an attractive man. But you know. I don't know why, it's just such a PC world. I find myself often like, I say something like that and I'm like, oh god, does this come off across as sexist or chauvinist? I wouldn't want that. But really, it's just how it is, it's just reality. Then Mikan Sumiki, and then Tenko Chabashira are my three waifus of the main Danganronpa games. And Celeste has a lot of traits which I don't usually go for. The excessive makeup, the fondness for vampires. There's, you know, obviously she's evil. There's a lot of things about her which I'm surprised I like her as much as I do, but she's a special character, so.
He hasn't been heard from since.
Bit unique. Yeah, she was interesting.
Why would he?
I don't know.
I definitely think though, like, you know, all three of those, I wouldn't recommend any girls look at them and go, oh, so that's the kind you like. Because I don't think there's much there that's actually like anything like that. But especially Celeste. Although I really, really don't like Sonya. 100%. Which I know a lot of people do. Are you sure you want to do this? Any progress on the investigation?
You're asking me that now?
Yeah, she's very much a character, indeed. Indeed.
I'm asking you to sync with Mizuki because we have no progress. Maybe Mizuki saw something at the scene. Maybe she went inside that merry-go-round to hide.
But I mean, I tell you what. Her line about Othello, would you like to play a game with me with Othello sometime? That, I mean, I suppose it's the gamer. She is the gamer of DR1. Appeals to me.
But she isn't answering any questions. The only way to find out is to dive into her subconscious mind. Don't you agree? If we don't do it now, then when? This is exactly the kind of situation Abyss was founded for. Besides, if you dive into Mizuki's subconscious, you may be able to help her. Her aphonia is psychogenic.
But yeah, like, Mizuki, having yet to hear her speak, having yet to really understand her personality apart from her body language, which does give off some personality. I like the personality that I see in her body language. Is definitely much more my type. Like, if Chiaki wasn't such a fucking Mary Sue, then she would be quite appealing to me as well. And I did like her at first, before I realized that.
Physically, she's fine.
Her
injuries are
Chiaki is a vessel for storyline. She is the perfect girl, even with her imperfections that make her more perfect. And she's always there to help you. Oh, she's so great, isn't she? You know, she's your starter Pokemon. She's your guide through the game. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need that.
Which is understandable after seeing her mother like that. You may be able to.
It's probably why I like characters more like.
You just have
Aoi
to sync
Asahina
with
was
her.
my second favorite, by the way, in DR1. You know, Aoi Asahina and Celeste and Mikan and Tenko, which were also there, especially like Tenko with her Heart of Gold, and Aoi as well. But not necessarily purely there, made like some fucking factory process just to help you get through the game.
You're the only one who can.
Yeah, I will.
As long as it doesn't have any splurge in it, and it's not made with jam. But yes. I'm not a big fan of jam. I like donuts though. Donuts are good. Donuts indeed. Go nuts for donuts. Isn't that one of her lines? Something like that. Boss is watching Mizuki through the glass. Yes.
We are ready to begin.
Date, go to the sync room.
Got it.
Yeah, they call it sync even though there's a P.
Agent Date, Mizuki is reacting. Her heart rate is rising and her brainwaves are showing signs of disturbance. She may be getting nervous about the procedure.
Date, try to calm her down.
How do I do that?
It's true that she can't speak to you, but she can hear you.
Look at her eyes. She's so cute.
Try talking with her.
Sure thing, boss.
It's unfortunate that she's so young. Because to me, she doesn't look young. Like, if you asked me, without being told by the story what her age is, I'd say like 21, 22. I wouldn't say 12. Maybe even older. She's very cute. About Abyss, about Sync Gear, so here's what's going to happen. Yeah, why are we asking questions?
I'm gonna be inside your head. I'll be looking for clues about the culprit.
Not only that, we will also attempt to discover discover the cause of Mizuki's muteness and rectify it. With her aphonia cured, we can ask her further questions directly.
That was the thing about the muteness, yeah. About Abyss, about the sync gear.
I know it looks scary, but trust me, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's no pain, no side effects. When this is all over, you'll go back to your regular life like this never happened. Mizuki, I've never told you this, but I'm not an ordinary policeman. I belong to a special investigation unit called Abyss.
Who's a little bit?
Advanced Brain Investigation Squad.
Oh, you mean Mizuki can hear AI?
We explore the human mind with state-of-the-art technology and research.
Is that a Mizuki emote? Really? Wow. Oh wow. She's a feisty type, huh? That is our purpose.
There are a billion kinds of suspects and persons of interest out there. People that lie, people that don't say anything, people that have head injuries, or some that have deep mental wounds that keep them from talking. So, how do we get clues from these people? We have to get inside their heads. The truth is in their minds. Our job is to find it. Sinking is what we call diving into someone's subconscious mind. You sink deep down into their psyches, and you synchronize with their true selves. People like me are called sinkers.
Sinkers. Hook, line, and sinkers. Hook, line, and sinkers. Fucking perfect. Gotta do that. I'm gonna... Yeah, okay. Give me a sec. Because everything that I do goes to YouTube. And sometimes I struggle for like a title or like a name or whatever. But that's just perfect. Not usually do I do this so vocally on screen or whatever, but just gonna keep that. Sinkers.
Sinkers enter the subject's subconscious, which is a dreamlike state we call Somnium. It's Latin for dream.
Sueño.
There are 6 sinkers at Abyss. I'm one of them.
When this is all over.
Hey, Mizuki. When this is all over, what should I say?
I'm sorry? When this is all over. No, I don't remember. Ah! Because I read about their biographies. Can I still read about their biographies? Ramen, stew, unagi. Okay, you like a lot of these things. Good. Not raw seafood, though. If you were to choose, let's go get some sushi, you'd be in trouble.
That ramen with the corn. It looks like pig slop. I thought it was garbage, but you loved it. I'll go get some with you.
Date, your choice of words.
I didn't expect him to say that.
I thought I chose pretty good words.
Date, her heart rate is steadying. EEG is stable.
Date, get into position. Let's begin.
Oh, and Special Agent, I forgot to mention one thing. I added a new feature to the sync system.
New feature?
You'll learn more when you're synced. It's very useful.
Sure, got it.
Here we go.
You ready?
Okay, ready anytime.
Remember, Dante, you have only 6 minutes in the Somnium world. Any longer, and your consciousness will be absorbed by the subjects.
Yeah, I know. I'll find a lead and get out in under 6 minutes.
We're counting on you.
Well then, let's begin.
Here we go. Gameplay without stabilizers. AI. IBA.
What was that?
Nothing. I was merely trying to enter the scene like a cybernetic assassin from the future.
Well, if you're trying to do that, you'd have to do it naked.
Isn't she practically?
Is this Bloom Park? Lightning and a birdcage. Maybe this is representative of Mizuki's state of mind.
The fact that Shoko was killed here must weigh heavily on Mizuki's heart.
Mizuki should be inside that column.
To get the information we need, we will have to deal with the lightning and the cage and get to Mizuki.
Move fast, or time is going to run out.
No, I am well aware of that.
Unnecessary. Look around.
Look around?
This is the new feature of Sync that Pewter mentioned.
You can stop time?
That's nice.
Only when standing still. Time is moving incredibly slowly.
Incredibly
Currently, you and I are transmitting information at high speed. So it only appears as though time has stopped.
So it's a relativity, like Einstein.
Are you familiar with the concept of time dilation?
I am familiar with things that might be relevant to it, like Einstein's theory of relativity.
It has to do with relativity, right?
Yeah.
Two people can experience time differently depending on space-time.
And fucking like, fuck, this is A-level physics shit. I don't remember it particularly well, but like the two trains side by side shit and the weird feeling of like how even though you're moving inside something you may not feel it and all that sort of stuff, and like what's that word, inertia, different states of inertia.
This is similar to that.
Yeah.
The flow of time in Somnium is different than the real world.
I did some A levels. I did physics, biology, maths. My parents would be better. They got PhDs. They're both incredibly intelligent, wonderful people. Molecular biologist mother and cell biologist dad. They'll know this probably better than me.
This could be useful.
Especially my dad, because he really liked physics. My mum is very clever too, but I don't know if she likes physics as much as my dad does.
You can only stay in Somnium for 6 minutes, right?
Wow.
But with this, you could take your time and explore.
FBI to come knocking.
Let's get started. Somnium scan. Activate.
There's that 999 sound again. Mental lock 1. Oh my god, really? That's throwing your weight around, jeez. Those are some complicated words. Environmental toxicology degree. My mother was going to do her first degree in heavy metals. She worked a lot with mercury, cadmium, and things like that. So then she had to restart because she had some family issues, and she could not finish, which is really unfortunate for her. And then she had to do it again from the beginning with a different subject about Drosophila, which are flies. Heal Mizuki's heart. Mizuki is mute. By healing her mental wounds, you may be able to get important info.
To reach Mizuki, something must be done about the lightning that keeps striking the bird cage.
Lightning's supposed to strike at the highest point.
Yeah.
An ice pick piercing Shoko's photograph.
Lovely.
Iba, speaker over there. It's shaking.
Vanadium. Pentachlorophenol. Pentachlorophenol. Right. Oh.
I see. It must be connected to the ice pick.
What do we do here?
Healing Mizuki should be your top priority.
I know.
This is scary. There's a 6-minute time limit in Somnia. Hahaha. Time is expended whenever Iba is moving or performing an action. Time limit. Pay attention to the remaining time left in the upper right of the screen. Unlock all mental locks within the 360-second time limit.
An ice pick stabbed into Shoko's photograph. Date, are you certain? Will this heal Mizuki?
I don't know. Just try it.
I don't think they'd give us the option if it wasn't the right one.
Understood.
No good, huh?
Mizuki is still a child. The solution may be simpler than you think.
Simple, maybe. But this is a dream. Not everything goes how you expect.
Which means all the more reason to just try what you can.
Shoko's photograph has an ice pick stabbed through it.
1 out of 2. What the fuck is the 1 out of 2?
Right. No one would want to see their mother like this.
The highest point.
It keeps going. What is this?
Something happened over there.
Lightning. Oh no, I got lightning and lightning.
The pillar became a lightning rod.
It looks like we can get to the birdcage now.
Our next step must be to remove it. Date, we got a timing.
A tiny?
A timey?
Time induction matter in encephalon. You can think of it as an item that affects the flow of time.
Oh god.
Using this, you can slow down or speed up time in Somnium.
Is this another function Pewter added?
Correct.
Sounds like a dream.
Well, it is a dream. And because it is a dream, extraordinary things such as this are possible.
Got it. Guess I'll try to use them where I can.
Timies are items that affect time. You will sometimes obtain them when you perform an action. Timies only affect the time taken to perform an action. You're able to hold 3 timies. Picking up a timie when you already hold 3 will replace one. Timies are expended after 1 use, but use them as often as you can, since otherwise you aren't going to use them at all, since you only have 3. Fair enough.
This appears to be the microphone for the speaker.
What is this 30 in the 1 out of 5 shit? What the hell's that about?
Stop it! Stop it already!
The control room of the merry-go-round lifted out of the ground.
I don't know what this half 30 and shit is about. Oh, those are tinies again? Oh, I see. I see. Oh, I see.
The control room of the merry-go-round.
Interesting. So if I take the knock, I get a 1/3.
Hello? Are you open?
One adult and one child, please.
I am not a child.
I see.
Any open seats will do. Anything in the back is fine. No response. There must not be anyone inside.
So, is it safe to enter?
Should be.
And that's my timing. Fair enough. Remove the birdcage, blow the birdcage away.
An enormous birdcage.
No! Fuck!
Understood.
No! I didn't mean to do that. I should have pressed up. That's what I should have done.
It wouldn't work.
Agent Date, you've got 5 minutes.
I got it.
An enormous birdcage.
Oh, use. No. This one. Yes, please.
It is too narrow.
No, your body is slim enough to get through.
You think so? In that case...
Guess you're fatter than I thought.
I am not! I am just... large-breasted!
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
The control room of the merry-go-round.
Okay.
What is your plan once I am inside?
It is a control room. Maybe we can do something in there.
I do not think it will be that easy.
Just try it. I didn't expect to see this.
It's a black
inside.
hole. I'm sorry, Battery. Especially when I'm doing this, I can't follow chat as easily. I'm still scared that I'm gonna fuck up my first real Somnium.
But there's something suspicious here.
I see 2 bird cages.
Looks like there's something inside them. Take a look.
Yeah, balloons. So I know some things I should have done that I didn't do already.
A bird cage with blown up rubbers inside.
When I was like, no,
There
I
is
didn't
also
do
a
that.
deflated rubber on the floor.
Could you please not call it a rubber? You can say balloon.
I do not understand. It is clearly rubber.
Please.
Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so I want to do this. to make that further.
This'll be easy.
Glad to hear it.
What? But it was so heavy.
But nothing happened.
Oh? What is this?
A deflated balloon.
Load up. Retry will allow you to return to a save point just after unlocking a mental lock. But you only have 3 retries. Going back 1 lock costs 1, going back 2 costs 2, and going back costs 3. Free locks will all cost all 3. Yeah. You regain your free retries by selecting restart from the menu or by failing this P-Sync. This is like your best option to time this now. God damn it.
Agent Dante, you've got
A
4
deflated
minutes.
rubber.
I get it.
I told you, please call it a balloon.
What are you getting so worked up about?
Condoms. Blow up's definitely what I want. I want to use a half.
Understood.
Don't pop it.
It's huge.
Oh,
I wish your boobs were that big.
I bet you do.
Are you serious? Those are obscenely large for a human.
Yes. You can jump on them.
Well, I suppose I am not technically human.
No, please don't do that.
So...
Date, please, be quiet.
So one thing I should have done was, there was 2 30s, I should have used my 30 to make the 30 so that I could get rid of it. Still getting used to controls though. I pressed the wrong button, I pressed left and right instead of up. But actually it wasn't up I needed to do, it was X. You were able to get out.
Perhaps the balloon was the key.
Yes, it was. I remember now, a story I heard from Mizuki a while back. I don't remember, it just made sense. One time when Mizuki was just a little girl, Shoko bought her a balloon. It was one of the nice helium ones. But the string slipped through her hand. The balloon sailed up into the sky. Shoko snapped, she scolded Mizuki for hours. Maybe that's why. Mizuki put the balloons inside the bird cage. That way they could never fly away again. But I guess Aiba and I made her relive a painful memory.
Alright, now that the birdcage is off, let's get Mizuki.
Do you not see the horses spinning at hurricane speeds?
Yeah.
If you stop time, you can go in, right?
But I cannot stop time while I'm moving.
Oh god.
Oh, right. Guess we gotta figure out how to stop it from spinning.
Selecting the map icon will bring up a map of the current Somnium world. You can use CC your current location objects to investigate the Somnium map. If you are lost and want to save time, try checking the map. Panda head, yes. Indeed. Here we go around the merry-go-round. Parasol is a lot like a thing. Let's try the parasol. You just make me use more time? Are you serious? Because I use the map? Oh.
The parasol is spinning freely.
Let me use one. Let me use. Oh no, again. I keep. It's L1 and R1 together as well. Yes.
Leave it to me. Oh, it's hot. I do not think force is the answer here.
You have 3 minutes, Dante.
Well,
The parasol is spinning freely.
Think of it like a girl's skirt.
Silence, Date.
Wow.
What is this?
Merry-go-rounds can fly?
Date, over there.
What's that word when you compare objects that are different to one another? Physical representation or whatever.
Iris. Why?
Peculiar.
Why is Iris...
She appears to be frozen.
What the hell is going on? What is this?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I'm sorry! Why do you never keep quiet? Is this fun for you? Giving your mother a hard time?
I don't think a naked girl crouched with stabs in their back is particularly anything but unsettling.
That hurts! That hurts! Please stop! I'm sorry! Why are you here? I'm sorry! I'm sorry! If you weren't here, everything would be fine. I'm sorry! Apologizing means nothing! Say something! Don't make me into the bad guy! But... What's
You
that?
are a bad guy!
Help! I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
Okay.
It's all your fault. You! I wish you had never been born!
Oh wow.
Mizuki's voice. The other voice is likely...
Damn. What's going on here? Iba, look out!
What?
Just come back.
I was about to become a pancake.
Good thing this isn't a bed and breakfast.
That frozen iris does intrigue me. But Mizuki first.
Let's get to Mizuki while the merry-go-round is stopped.
360-second time limit. If you chose the correct answer as your final action, you can actually exceed the 360-second time. Okay. Even if it seems like you don't have a lot of time left, don't give up. You might be able to do it. But that's contrary to restarting. More than 1 second. When you clear, you get a prize? No, boss. Anything but that.
It's Mizuki.
Jesus.
A gift? Oh, that might work.
Oh god. That
Mizuki,
smile.
now you can have a taste of the merry-go-round every day of your life.
Oh god.
It will also improve your health.
That's your gift?
It's Mizuki. Mizuki, can you hear me? We will protect you, Mizuki.
Protect.
We will always be there for you. So, it's all right now.
Hey, do you think we can use that speaker? Maybe she needs to hear her mother's voice.
Mom loves glad that you were born. So glad.
Yes. I couldn't
Hey,
move past that.
Do you
It was doing
hear
it.
something?
Is that a phone ringing?
It is. Assuming that's a phone sound.
Where's it coming from?
Date, don't! You can't stay any longer!
Yeah!
Awaken. Healed Mizuki with Shoko's voice. Day 2. Mizuki A acquired. Trophy earned. Pain, mother, blood, and... Whoa, we did it. We did it! Oof. Day 2 Saturday. Kate I. That was challenging. That was challenging, and I fucked up some shit by not using the 30 when I could.
It's okay.
Are you okay?
You get to hear her. No? Not yet.
Mizuki.
She hasn't been healed. She's still traumatized.
Okay.
Iba, call Iris's phone. It's urgent.
Why the rush?
Please, just call.
Hello?
Oh, at least she's alive.
This is Kaname Tate from the MPD. I met you earlier today.
Oh, I think she wouldn't forget.
Oh, Date. Is something wrong?
Where are you right now?
So is his actual name like Date, and I always do the same stupid thing because I don't remember it, that the last name is the first name or something?
Okay, don't go anywhere.
Konami, is it? Konami code.
Lock the door and stay at home.
Is that the best idea? I don't know. I don't know what is the best idea. Maybe. Probably makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, what if that's what the villain wants?
Can you tell me why?
Who cares why? This is a direct order from the police.
You mean a personal order?
Okay. But if I do... Will you play Shovel Forge with me tomorrow?
Ooh!
You're gonna have me on as your guest on the stream? Oh my.
No.
Aww. But don't do it. Don't say no. Don't say no. Even if it is a no, don't say no. Because then she won't do what you're asking.
Then go on a date with me.
Date with me.
A date?
You're a date. You're a date! I hope this game makes that joke, even though it's very obvious.
If you promise me we'll
Because
go
that's
on a date,
falls
I'll be cool
right
and
in
don't
line.
say a peep. If you don't promise me, then...
Go back to the carnival. You're gonna go back to the murder scene.
I'll wander around the city dragging a heavy suitcase.
Or that.
Alright, understood.
Understood?
Hey, she came on to him. I mean, it's true.
Great!
But that doesn't mean that you necessarily just let that happen and consent. Oh, the trials of being an adult. Although I wouldn't really know any of that.
Fine. Just don't go outside, okay? If anything happens, call me immediately.
I mean, if someone underage asks for you to be with them, you are obligated by law not to give consent. You know. So, therefore, he is still technically wrong here. I mean, not that a date means sex. I don't mean it does. But, like, you know, assuming that something was to happen, it would be wrong.
My number is...
I have it in my history. See ya!
It wouldn't exonerate him just because she wanted. If that was the thing. Not that that's a million miles away from a date, obviously, but I'm just saying, because like a date on its own, just as two people going out, even if one is underage, I don't believe, as far as I know, is against the law. Maybe it is. Please inform me. But I do know, obviously, that having sex with an underage girl or boy is. That's why I'm going there. Not because I expect one to lead to the other, okay? I'm just trying to put it in a way that is viable for, you know, arrest.
What was that? A phone call?
It's nothing.
Well, it's not exactly, you know, it is frowned upon, I can imagine. Potentially. It's interesting. I can't claim, I certainly would never claim to know everything about the world. I constantly feel trapped between how I feel about things and how I'm concerned about the world feeling about things. Because I know, well, I say I know, I feel, in some respects, there's a lot of overlap, of course, but in some respects they may not be the same thing. And I feel like I get lodged between the two. Sometimes I might be more PC than the world actually is. Sometimes I might be less PC than the world actually is. And the world is constantly changing anyway. I find myself in this problem many, many times. I actually had a real life situation. Nothing is lewd. This is not really lewd, but you know, nothing is personal as this, but I understood a letter that I got meaning something because I was trying to interpret what they were trying to tell me and what I remember, which isn't very much, not very specific. Most of it is you going to a place and then they do the work for you, but you have to give consent. It's financial legal matters. But actually, in reality, my dad looked at it and he said, no, don't worry, it's fine. It doesn't mean any of that. It means something completely different. And that's where I find myself lost a lot of the time in the world, in a lot of things, especially as an Asperger, is I struggle to comprehend between how I naturally understand something and what I feel I've been told. And I feel there are similar like gaps here, like what would cross the line for society to be against it? What would cross the line for legal matters? All I'm aware of is that even if an underage person was to want to have sex with you, that does not allow you to give consent to them and not be hit by the law, right? But like, what about just going out with them? Whether it's a date or whether it's just a friendship thing, because this isn't even as far as that. This isn't even like a relationship date. This is a non-relationship date. This is like a friendship date. Date doesn't even apply here. It's just it's a meetup, right? date usually has connotations relationship-wise. This isn't even that. This is just friendship. This is just a meetup. How far is it for society / law, possibly, to frown upon and go against it? And, you know, like, it's very... Yeah, that's the worrying thing though, isn't it? That's the worrying thing. A lot of people, Patry, I can imagine, don't know the specifics, whether they have mental health issues like myself or not. I don't know if you do or not. But I always find myself, because I'm Asperger, because I've always been different, because I always felt different growing up and everything, very conscientious of it. Especially because what do you expect from me? Right? Because if I was to be in that position, what are my real options? How will I be perceived? What if I do something that most people will say is totally wrong, thinking that I didn't expect such repercussion? You know? It's very... ugh. Which makes me not want to do anything. Right? It makes me just not want to do anything. One of my half brothers with ADHD, it was hard to find help from many doctors treated just as autism. Oh wow. Is this America? Though getting crippled and getting worse, especially with the current government that's apparently still in favor of the people, because the people are really stupid in this country. Our NHS is known to be decent and has been decent for a considerable time. It's getting worse and worse, and will continue to get worse and worse as long as we continue to go down this road. But I don't believe that when the NHS was at its prime, which is probably not today, that sort of problem would occur. They would understand. Though, having said that, you can't go back too far, because mental health as a whole is a very new topic, a very new research. You know, people have needed help with mental health for the longest time. Obviously, you know, it's never not existed. It's just not been discovered and understood until recently. So, you know, maybe there were problems in that regard as well. About Iris's buddy, are you okay? About the ringtone I heard in Somnium, about the Nile message. Fuck is Nile again? Nile is that social media thing? We heard about it when we were in Lemniscape. About Iris's buddy, about are you okay? About the ringtone I heard. About Iris's buddy. Are you okay? Should I just console her to start with? She didn't answer. All these are probably not going to be answerable, but we might as well go through them anyway.
Mizuki, I saw something strange in your dream. Iris, she was frozen. She was dead. What was that? Tell me, Mizuki, please.
Both her and her mother have had images.
Date, there is no point attempting to speak with her.
Oh, I'm aware.
Mizuki's aphonia has not healed.
I get that. She can also write. Technically, she could communicate. She could write. This is kind of silly. She could write down stuff. You could give her a pad and pen or whatever, but apparently we don't live in that world right now. About the ringtone I heard in Somnium, about the Nile message.
Hey Mizuki, tell me something. In your dream world, I heard a phone ring. Did you hear that somewhere?
Still telling this stuff to her, I feel is of value. These are things that we noticed, and these are things that we want answers for. But she could respond, not with words, but with writing.
Or did you just
As
imagine
an
it?
example.
Date, there's no point talking to her.
It just seems really strange that I can't get her to write their answers down.
You couldn't heal her.
She can write. She knows the language. She understands what I'm saying. She can hear me. This is very silly.
Her symptoms haven't improved.
That's irrelevant.
She'll be sent back to the hospital. Maybe the doctors can help her.
Mizuki, I have to ask you. You got a Nile message yesterday, and then you went to Bloom Park. Who sent you the message?
I checked her phone, but the history was wiped.
I am trying to identify the sender now, but it will take some time.
Mizuki, when we found you at the merry-go-round, you were holding the ice pick. I'm not accusing you of anything. I trust you. I just want to know why you were holding it. Answer me, Mizuki.
Date, please. Yelling at her is counterproductive.
Damn it.
I couldn't get Mizuki back her voice. She's sitting on the chair, she looks drained, like an abandoned doll. Why is she still green? I opened the binder. There are pictures of macho-looking men in loincloths with roses in their mouths. Okay. Still green. A binder. Different strings of characters and numbers continue to scroll in the monitor. You see, like, even something as simple as this weird, silly joke about gay porn. Nobody that would have any malevolent intentions that would be threatening because they actually could be significant and intelligent enough to carry them out and hide them would be so reckless and overt about their workplace with all these binders, would they? That wouldn't make sense. Clearly, Green Lantern over here wouldn't be a bad guy. He's way too obtuse and simple about his work. But maybe that's just a facade for how he wants you to think. So that actually he is very bad, and this is just a cover-up. A very obvious cover-up that makes him look much more stupid and, you know, like, clumsy in his ways, like just having that out in the open, than he actually is. Which is it? Like, I notice it, I understand that the logical assessment is to go, okay, this way, but that very well could be because we should go that way instead. I find a lot of that in these games. Like, you know, like, I understand something, but that doesn't mean that I'm finding the right answer because I understand it. And I explained this last week, and I feel it every time I play these games. I love these games, but I feel it every time. Because I often get Danganronpa trials wrong. Often. I think most people do, and most people don't like the idea of being wrong. But I definitely do. I managed to get fucking Korekiyo correct, which I was very happy about, given that it made me feel like I got my revenge. Because damn that fucker, I hate him. One of my most hated characters, but not my most hated character in that game. That goes to Kokichi. I despise that little run. I absolutely hate him. But yeah, Korekiyo, I got correct at before the trial started. I got Korekiyo correct. Most of them, though, I probably didn't get correct at all. I didn't see who the ultimate mastermind was. I didn't see any of that. I didn't find any of that. So, you know, a lot of the times I might be thinking about one thing when in reality I should be thinking about it in some other way. But how am I supposed to know which way to think about it? Even the obvious may be a blur, as in to say a red herring. How obvious is too obvious? How obvious is correct? How obvious is not obvious enough? You know? Late stage cancer, oh my. No, don't worry. I don't want to know anything, and I know you're still play acting. I like how you play act by putting her emote every time you play act. That's clever, because then you can kind of disassociate between being Mizuki and being yourself. But yeah, these sync machines. You can see the sync machine from the window. That's my concern, because often I feel like I can't predict story, because it's all about where the writer wanted to go. If this was real life, you could rely on certain understandings a little more. Not 100%, but a little more. Like, a Premier League team is going to beat a team in the 3rd division. Not always, there are upsets. But most of the time they will. But in a story, it could go any which way. No worries. It's good. I like it. It's cool. Try. I mean, I don't think you have, but because it leads to speculation, do try to make sure that you're on the right side of spoiler territory. And I don't think you've done wrong in any sense, but just something to think about. But generally speaking, yeah, no, that's cool. Do you believe in prophetic dreams? About what I saw in Somnium, about Mizuki's aphonia, about the ringtone I heard in Somnium? I don't know what to start with. I just have to go with one, right? But I need to think a little more about what these are talking about. Mizuki's aphonia. I do like this one.
It didn't go well.
Yeah, can you tell me more
about it? It's not all
that?
bad. The sync wasn't a total waste of time.
Wait,
We found clues.
Clues. Right.
Blue's Clues? No wait. But you see, the reason why I talk about it isn't because you know. I know you know. But I know too. And it's very difficult sometimes to avoid it, even when one knows. Maybe you're just better than me. Maybe you trust your abilities more than I trust mine. But I know that, well, I say I know. I believe that even with the best intentions, which I know I believe that you have, I can still make mistakes. That's all I'm saying. It's just to remember it more than anything else. But I do like it. About the ringtone I heard something, because I tell you, no, I've definitely slipped up before where I've wanted to say something or whatever, and I thought it was okay, and then I realized, oh no, that reveals this, or whatever it is. About what I saw in Somnium, do you believe in prophetic dreams? I don't think it's as... And you know when sometimes you hear streamers say, it's easy not to spoil stuff? I definitely don't believe that's true, especially when you're talking about games like Danganronpa, or AI, or ones that have a lot of layers story-wise, where story takes the center stage and gameplay is behind it. I mean, games where gameplay takes center stage, like Etrian Odyssey, and story takes a backseat, that's probably easier. But in games where it's like stories like the main thing, it can be often very difficult. Oh, I know. And don't worry, I mean, I'm not, you know, it's more just, it's good to remember it. But yeah, it's tough. That ringtone I heard in Somnium, but what I saw in Somnium. Do you believe in prophetic dreams? Sure.
Boss, I heard a ringtone in Mizuki's Somnium.
I know. But I couldn't tell where it was coming from.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's real or something Mizuki invented. But if Mizuki really did hear that ringtone...
Then there must have been a phone somewhere on site.
Did CSI report anything like that?
No, nothing. They searched the site, but didn't find a single thing. No need to report specifics. We saw it all from here in the control room. What the Psyncer sees in Somnium is projected here, remember? We've got it all recorded.
Isn't it incredible? I invented it.
So we know about everything you saw. The phone, the frozen corpse. Where is this coming from?
I don't know, it's just the remaining answer I have. I believe in prophetic dreams. But these are Somniums. Do you believe in what the Somniums are saying, basically?
Oh, I see. This is about the body you saw in Mizuki's Somnium. Her name is Iris Saga.
I mean, yes, that and her mother.
The girl you went to Bloom Park with today.
How do you know that?
I mean, we were at the scene. Did the officers actually relay and do their job?
Iba told me.
Oh, okay.
It is one of my duties to deliver regular investigation reports.
This is one of my concerns and theories, and I think I mentioned it already, so I'm glad I'm able to say that I've already mentioned it, because this is the time where really, if you haven't mentioned it by now, then you can't really claim it. And that is, Iba could be very concerning, because she could be used to keep check on me, to make sure that I do things only within what I'm supposed to. And by that means that the killer, that the mastermind, might well be behind all this. That, you know, gets to hear about Iba. Which is another reason why I feel that, though it would still be a stab in the dark, hopefully not in Iris Sagan's back, that the boss lady could well be the culprit. That would make sense in my mind in a lot of ways. In the way that there's no footage, how do you get the body over there when there's no footage? No footage doesn't necessarily mean no activity. If they have this weird protocol whereby they don't record police vehicles, because the police, they only record civilian stuff to be efficient with data or whatever the fuck, you know, because like no one's going to be bad in the police car. It's police, right? And all the rest of it. Like, who's her boss? How come we don't know about her boss? Why is she not coming forward with things when she wants our help? There's a lot of things that make me think it might well be her. About pathetic dreams.
Prophecies, huh?
But this is just like, could be that line, could be completely different.
That's why you called Iris. But Dr.
Like, because I've heard people, you know, come to the conclusion that the person who portrayed the bad guy in P4 were able to predict it. There are some people, I don't know how they do it, that on a regular basis, when it comes to mysteries like this, hit the nail on the head. They figured out probably who the culprit was. They also figured out who the mastermind was in P4 Golden. And these are things which, yeah, sure, I remember them happening. If you ask me what the first thing that you do in P4, though I never actually played the game, certainly in the game that I play, I could tell you. The first thing we do in this game is be in the night sky with the rain and the, I can't remember, carousel. Carousel is the word I was trying to think of. That's why I kept thinking of cathedral and carnival. Carousel. And we're at the carousel site, and we're talking to the investigation team and asking their name, and she's brought us here. The boss has brought us here. I forget what her name is. I believe they told us what her name was once when we were in her office. And I can remember that. Like, I remember the first thing that happened in the game. Like, you know, I remember the first thing that happened in Luigi's Mansion 3. You know, I didn't enjoy that game, which was like the cutscene where you're in the car and you're traveling to the hotel and the dog is with you, and then you go in and you meet Madame Gravely and all that. I remember the first thing that happened, but that doesn't mean that I then connect it to go, oh yeah, that random incident compared to the 100,000 other things that have happened is so much more important, and that is why that the blah 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 blah. How? How do you pick apart which one is the right one? You know? But there are some people, I don't want to say their name because we've fallen out, but I've talked about him several times before. I used to be a big fan of his, and they, you know, people probably know who I'm talking about. but he's very good at figuring this shit out. It irks me how good he is. He's played Danganronpas, he's played all sorts, and he always gets it right. And it's like, how do you do that? Because I remember the whatever, the this, the that, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean, therefore, okay, I can piece it together, because obviously that would be the reason for it. Like, what?
I know, a dream is just a dream.
That's something I'd like to get to the bottom of. Like, how do you do that?
Doesn't
So,
necessarily.
like, my ideas about the
with
boss
reality.
being the bad girl, sure, she might be. And then originally I thought Rhea was the bad woman, the bad character in Fire Emblem Three Houses. I didn't trust her with a botchful from the very beginning. But she ended up not being actually bad. Edelgard, who I trusted wholeheartedly, she was the bad one. Rhea didn't turn out to be bad at all. She turned out to be afflicted. And she became something that she didn't want to be, and then she got corrupted into a form that unfortunately meant that we had to kill her. But it still means she was bad. She was technically never bad. Even when we killed her, because we had to, because she was going to ruin everything, she wasn't bad because she had to suffer this corruption, this change that she didn't want to go through, right? It wasn't her consent. She didn't actively, malevolently do this. She wasn't a mastermind. She didn't actively do that. She effectively was a pawn in the end, for whatever makes that happen and turn them into beasts and whatever. So I was wrong there. And I'm often wrong, and I want to not be so wrong so often, but I want to know how to catch it. And the hard part isn't, do you remember this? Yes, of course I remember this. Do you remember that? Yes, of course I remember that. Winter Iris. I'll remember Winter Iris when I finish this game. It's, okay, that means that it was actually, Rio's mother, whatever the hell that guy's name is, the friend of Aset, Iris Sagan. It was actually his mother that was the bad one all along. Didn't you notice how she talked about the succubus? Yes, I noticed how she rephrased Aset as the succubus. Well, if you noticed that, therefore you should have realized that. I was like, what? How? Why? Yes, I remember our meeting. Yes, I remember her talking about how she doesn't remember the time of calendar was wrong with her fucking thing and how blah blah blah. But it doesn't mean that I then am able to conclude that's why she's the one. Where's that? Because the incident that happens at the beginning of P4 is innocuous and a bit weird. But that's all it is. It's not, oh yeah, therefore they did it. How?
But still.
Whatever. Off the game again. And then you get arrested. At least the plot twist. Which game? Do you mean this one or P4?
I just have.
And obviously when I say P4, I mean P4 Golden, because I don't think that part of it is in P4 regular.
Date, are you alright? Perhaps the sink is causing negative side effects.
I hope that's all it is.
I am envious of that guy's ability to just constantly just get it right every... It's how? It's so frustrating. Yeah, P4. A locker.
Hey, Date, remember that time you were blackout drunk? You thought that locker was a urinal?
Please don't remind me.
Monsters turned off. I just want to find everything green. I'm surprised that this is a Spike Chunsoft game, and in Spike Chunsoft games, like Danganronpa, they had the broom, 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 like the ringing of the phone, but arguably even more annoying, where if you press triangle, which I'm pressing right now, you would have all the interactables highlight. It was in bubbles on DR1, and then it was without all that annoying noise in like the green scope, like you would get the highlight vision goggles and you'd see green and shit, kind of like the greens here, in V3. A metal shelf. CRT monitor.
Today is Saturday. No reaction drama should be broadcasting soon.
First, no, it won't. Second, that's not even a TV.
I really wish I could, you know, resolve some of my fallouts on Twitch. I looked up to him so much. Still do. A long
This
table.
brings
Even
me
though there's a
back.
lot of things that I disagree with as well.
Date and I used to make love on this table.
Oh, really?
We did not. We just poured salmon roe and seaweed salad all over each other.
Nice.
That sounds even more kinky.
Many objects are scattered on the table. This game. Totally synchronized. Also, you're noticing perhaps that I am lingering on areas, not only to find all these green things, but also because I kind of enjoy that, just the world. I often really like just sitting in worlds that I like. But I probably should move on. Yeah. What else should I talk to? Also watching music you passionate. Theater. About pathetic dreams, about Somnium, about the ringtone I heard in Somnium. We'll start with about Somnium.
In a normal dream, the person experiencing the dream cannot remove themselves from it.
Aw. Yeah, true.
Dreams are first-person experiences. However, the circumstances
I mean, I don't
are
want to listen to it
slightly
either, it sounds
different
disgusting.
during a scene.
I'm really not a fan of mixing food with sexual activity at all. There's a lot, even though I'm very upset and very sad about certain things, there's a lot of, well, okay. Sometimes you have a topic and it's like a ball of rubber bands and you don't know which one to apply first and take off first. So instead of that, let me rephrase. How do you feel about Date? Do you like him? Is he an alright dude? Do you think... does Kazumi hate him? Does Kazumi not like him? Does Kazumi think he's a pervert? Obsessed? Whatever. I ask because... And yeah, I watched someone else recently who's playing through this game too, and they took the line that I absolutely hate and detest and think is a complete lack of appreciation for other people and respect for their pain, because it's not something that is acknowledged across the world to be sympathy for, have sympathy for, and feel sorry for. So therefore they take it down and they attack it, and they enjoy reveling in the other's pain and not giving sympathy or empathy for it. And that was the moment when Date talked about benches, and now he has a burning hatred for benches. And he did come to the same conclusion that I did about benches, but in a very different way. He was scoffing at it and laughing at, oh, because you don't have a girlfriend? That's funny. Hey, stupid loser. Just go get yourself a girlfriend. Just kidnap someone off the street if you have to, you know? Come on, it's that easy. You're just such a sewer loser sap because you can't get a fucking girlfriend. You're rubbish. I absolutely hate that behavior, and it's very disrespectful and very insulting. And simple-minded, and doesn't appreciate the trouble and the struggle and the pain that is not being able to have a girlfriend. And not everybody gets to have a relationship. It's just some people aren't able to, even if they try, even if they want to. They just, you know, are unfortunate enough, and I definitely relate to that. I am that. I am someone who has never had a relationship and really struggle with that and frustrate over that. It's one of the several things that I struggle and frustrate over. So the reaction to just him having a burning hatred for benches got us the same conclusion. The conclusion was that he hates benches because he hates being reminded of couples. Maybe even no one does it. I wish I could. I take things. I'm quite an emotional person, if you haven't noticed already. I wear my heart on my sleeve, very much so, and I take things pretty easily. You know, as in, not easily, but like, I get affected easily. And so I was quite compassionate and understanding of Date's hatred for benches, because it made me think that he has some longing for relationships and sadness and frustration over having never been allowed to be a part of that. In spite of his best efforts, and I obviously relate to that. But it also made me think that one of the lines this game could go down is that the owner of Lemniscate could well be bad, and he could have 6 years ago found a way to take over our lives. So we're actually married to Shoko. Our daughter is Mizuki, but this guy instead, 6 years ago, found a way to give us amnesia. Maybe we committed a crime, I don't know. And then he wanted that life instead, so he took it. So maybe this burning hatred that lies within him that he can't understand is because of the amnesia blocking his ability to remember his past life. Maybe he feels like he knew that he was actually in a relationship with her, but it's just one hypothesis. But can't remember that he was, but that there's something in there, inside that leads to, or whatever.
The Sinker dives into the subject's mind and experiences their subconscious thoughts.
Meh.
But this dream is experienced as an observer, as though you were watching a play. The subject is the author, director,
I just think that would be an interesting, fairly predictable twist.
The Sinker is merely the audience.
No, it's not merely the audience, because the audience doesn't die if the show lasts too long. About the ringtone I heard in Somnium.
I know about the ringtone you heard.
And also the audience doesn't interact as maybe they interact to a degree, but they don't interact as heavily as you know, a Sinker does. I mean, I suppose if they are part of the audience, they're the audience member that gets called up during the middle of a show to be on stage and do things with the performer.
But I couldn't tell where it was coming from.
Did Mizuki actually hear that? Or was it just a dream? Or her imagination?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Can you analyze the sound or something?
Unfortunately not.
Is the pewter actually voiced by Sean Shiplock? That unfortunately not. Sounded a little like it. About prophetic dreams. Well, mind you, I was trying to find out the voice actress for ASAT, because I was bouncing between Cherami Lee and Eden Regal. Turns out it's neither of those, but rather someone much younger, like the next generation.
Ah, the corpse you saw in Somnium. You're wondering if that was some kind of vision of the future.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
it does, you know, like, the bigotry you talk about, you know, you said the word bigotry. And it's very interesting because the other day with the Fire Emblem, because the literal translation of the word victory is actually something I'm probably quite guilty of. But the on a level where it actually involves sympathy and empathy is where I draw the line. And that means to say there's more to the whole opinions matter than just poo-pooing others for no reason. And I also feel like we live in a world that is very PC. So much so that it's almost suffocating. So there's no room for any sort of compassion outside things that have already been allocated as reasons to show sympathy. We're so inundated with, you know, appreciating each other if we're a different sexuality, a different gender, a different creed, a different color, or whatever, that if one wants to have a similar sort of respect for other reasons, like not having a girlfriend and not being able to attract people, not having whatever it is that allowed them to do that, then there's no sympathy left, there's no emotion left to do that. So people would rather just be like, oh, well, that's not a publicly respected situation, so I'm just going to poo-poo it. Some people, at least.
Well, let's see.
But the bigotry of, which is not really bigotry, but it is hypocritical. But bigotry kind of has some overlap with that. With the idea that the ones that are known, the cases that are known to feel sympathy for, get all the sympathy. But other cases equally as deserving, but not as popular, not as public. Not as understood by the masses to show sympathy for, like loneliness, aren't. Which frustrates the hell out of me.
As a man of science, I don't believe in such things. Prophecies and the like. However, if it was a prophecy, I would
Some of this
suggest
does
the
sound
girl
like
wear
Joseph
some
of the
kind
Law.
of metal plate.
Huh?
Like Reen Schwarzer and stuff.
You saw her.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know. I still see it in people, but then again, I suppose you still see homosexuality, homophobia in people as well.
She was stabbed countless times.
But
in the
yeah, I
back.
hope so.
She could have used some stab-proof armor or something.
Because a lot of what I see is that loneliness is the fault of the person who's lonely. And I mean, like, the one thing I feel I have intact, having lost everything else in terms of human relations outside parents, which I'm very fortunate to have the parents, but I'm talking about like human relations built from the ground up by me. Not ones given to me because I got lucky with good parents. How do I put this?
Just
Kinda lost my train of thought.
indulging in the fantasy of real-life
By
prophecies.
explaining the difference. Yeah, wow.
Don't mind
That
me.
it's our fault, basically. It's the ultimate, the center of it, that it's our fault that we can't get a girlfriend or whatever. Like I should just fucking, literally, like I should just go and fucking ransom, kidnap. Oh, you're a pretty girl. Let me just, you know, whisk you away because I can do that apparently. Like, are you
Anyway,
kidding me?
prophecies are simply not possible.
True.
You see?
Because yes, I see pretty girls that I'd like to get to know better all the time. Doesn't mean I can. And I wouldn't want to do anything that's untoward that they would not be in there, you know, they'd want. Peter is standing with his hands in his pocket. I'm not that kind of person, let alone, you know, even if he was able to, I probably, you know, I'm pretty damn sure I wouldn't, because I don't like that. You know, I want them to be their choice too, but it's just... Obviously we don't live in that kind of world anyway, but that's how it feels. That's how it feels. Like some people are like, oh, it's so straightforward, so easy. It's fucking impossible. Memorize something.
I think I'll go to Bloom Park again.
Looking for the phone?
And that if you don't have that, if you're upset about it, and you know you're one of those people who's upset and struggles with it, then it's your fault and you're a loser and screw you and shit. Right?
It might be there, it might not. I just want to be sure.
Makes me very upset, but I don't know.
Take care of Mizuki.
That's why I relate to the benches then.
Yeah, leave it to me.
Okay. Bloom Park. That's, well, again, another aspect of when I did that tweet about how I wish I could get more understanding of what it is to have control and, you know, how capable someone is. Is it really their fault?
Yesterday night, the body of Shoko Nadami was found.
Because in my history, till I gave up on it, I have met girls in uni or elsewhere that I made aware that I liked them, and I got rejected every time.
Her body was recovered from the
And I got sick of it. I'm just like, I don't want to get burned again. I don't want to get burned again.
Autopsy reports revealed that her time of death was
So I
roughly
stopped.
5 p.m. last afternoon. Police have determined that the victim was killed elsewhere and then brought to Bloom Park to be put on display. The MPD has expanded the scope of their investigation
It's,
and are
let me
encouraging
find the
anyone
tweet.
with any information to come forward.
It's this collection of tweets that I did.
In other news, at 6:10 p.m. today, on the outer circle of the
Nah.
Capital City Highway in Minato District, Tokyo.
Okay, I just noticed something that's really nice. If you somehow get to a different page and then come back, the log, the voice recording doesn't go away. Some games, if I did just what I did just there, the rest of what he was saying there would not have been spoken.
A traffic collision
It's nice that
occurred
that happened.
involving as a result of the pileup. One man was sent to the hospital unconscious in critical condition.
It's not a pilot, what the fuck? Probably pay more attention to this. 6 a.m. p.m. Circle Capital City Highway and this is grab collision occurred one 5 cars and at least 1 truck. This is not the pilot. Did this involve the body by any chance?
6 other individuals were treated for minor injuries. MPD has arrested the driver of the truck suspected to be the cause of the accident for negligence.
I wonder if the body was taken in the truck and then deliberately aimed to try and cause an accident, to try and throw the evidence away.
The investigation is ongoing.
That's an idea. Bloom Park, Saturday, 8:13 p.m. Oh, the body's gone. Yep. Yep. There's a fence set up around the merry-go-round. It's a horse on the merry-go-round. So as I was saying, I wonder if someone took the truck, put the body in the truck, and deliberately cause an accident to try and kind of like just scatter the evidence, kind of thing. It's like, oh no, someone died in this accident, and then oh, it was the cause of the accident. No, it wasn't. They were already dead. It's another poll. What? Last night, Mizuki was found in that column. Why was she in there? Last night, Mizuki was found in that column. Why was she in there? Again, I like trying to find out. Yeah, I know it's tough. That's obviously not going to fly. But how else do you get rid of the buddy? It's a bench. I find it, at the very least, amusing that I was just talking about the buddy being got rid of, and then the buddy's gone. Control room of the merry-go-round. This is where the ride is operated. Like, if there was a nearby incinerator, I'm sure that would be very useful. Alas, you can't just conjure one up. Power song. Give me the thing, whatever this is. Scared. The merry-go-round horse screwed upside down. It looks pathetic. I don't know why they say it looks pathetic. It's so weird. What about that looks pathetic? Whoa, what was this? Roof. It's been 8 years since Bloom Park closed. The weather's gotten to it pretty bad. Warn her about what? Who are you? Scream boldly, scream shrilly.
Wait, are you a ghost?
Idiot. It's me.
Who, you? Me?
It's me.
Me?
Whom?
I said me.
Me.
But are you a ghost?
I'm not a ghost.
Are you Yasuhiro Hagakure?
Then Aiba?
By that I mean Dade.
But why?
I just thought I would project myself. You seem lonely.
He is.
How are you doing this?
I am overlaying the image your left eye processes with augmented reality. You can't see me through your right eye, only your left.
Interesting. So I don't have depth perception here.
You can't just pop into my eyeball without permission.
You do realize I do that all the time, right?
Like with the whole eyeball coming out and being a weird little bear. About your appearance, how do you appear in Somnium? About ringtone ahead in Somnium.
I am connected to your brain via artificial nerve. I am part of your working brain. Our minds are one.
Are they really? Given that you give consent to, or not consent, but you give information that I don't ask for being shared to people that I haven't given consent for.
During the sync, when the data that constitutes your ego is transferred, some of my main programming is also transferred.
What? During the piecing, when the data that constitutes your ego is... Oh.
That is why I appear in Somnium.
It's weird.
Do I even need to explain this sort of thing to you?
Yes, because that's really weird. Why my ego carries with your programming?
I have experienced syncing many times with you. Although it is true that I have never appeared to you in this form.
About your appearance, yeah, what's up?
Come to think of it, you look kind of like you do when you're in Somnium. What's that about?
What do you mean?
Well, you don't usually look like that. You have a Somnium form and another form.
Yeah, the bear form.
Oh, this?
Yes, that. Why are you doing this now?
I was bored last night, so...
Okay, so we got the Junko response. Why the timer? The massive timer in the middle of the park? Oh, I was bored. Okay.
huh?
I thought you would like it.
I thought I would like a proper reason.
Why would I like it?
Well, I did attempt to shape myself to your preference.
You are attractive, don't get me wrong, but I prefer Mizuki.
If you could do that, change it. Be Reika from Tiefblau.
Reika? Is this a real thing?
I will not.
Why not?
Because I won't.
About the ringtone and Somnium. Heard
It was somewhere around here, right? Where I heard the phone ring.
Ring, 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 ring. Carousel phone.
Affirmative.
The source can't be far. The phone must be nearby.
I do not know if it actually exists. Dreams consist of memories. But that does not mean that they perfectly mirror reality. In fact, it is more common that what occurs in dreams is distorted. For example, the events witnessed in the last Somnium were absurd, exaggerated, or otherwise warped.
But they did have some logical connection, like the paracel is... I don't know what the words are. Metaphysically similar or representative of the carousel?
Clearly, they do not represent exactly what happened in reality.
Yeah, but like I said, there's a logical connection.
The ringtone as well.
Mizuki didn't necessarily hear it. I understand that. But it's our only lead.
Anything catch your eye?
As I mentioned earlier, I cannot say for certain if there was a phone here. However, if there is, it must be well hidden. CSI has already searched the area thoroughly, but they did not discover anything.
Well hidden, huh? Maybe a place you can't see with the naked eye.
Can you see anywhere suspicious?
Let me see. I need to analyze the surroundings. It is certainly the case that the phone would be placed somewhere not readily visible to the naked eye. If it exists at all.
There are plenty of places that are suspicious. There are way too many places that are suspicious. Underneath the goddamn wood that we see right now in front of us is suspicious. Why is there an elevated ground? Obviously for the carousel, but other than that, you could place anywhere. Anywhere that's out of place.
Did you check the horse?
A horse?
Inside the horse, for example.
Shoko's body was placed on this horse. It must be significant, and it appears that the horse is hollow on the inside.
Is this like the final dead room where you have Monami, Usami, and if you keep asking her, you'll get I don't know why I can't get to the horse. Do I have to keep talking to her? Well, I don't mind talking to her. I'm just not quite sure what I want to do. Alright, this horse. Has to be that horse. X-ray.
Look at that.
It appears to be a smartphone.
I knew it was in the horse.
I didn't know it was in the horse. It could be so many places. It could be in the horse. It could be underneath the floorboard. It could be anywhere.
Don't lie. You doubted me.
So how do I get it out?
I cannot find any weaknesses or seams in the horse's body.
This is kind of an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Some people, yeah, definitely the horse, no question. Why? I'm the horse's ass. But like, why? It could easily have been a dozen other places. It could have been in the pole, maybe. It could have been in the door to the center of the carousel. It could have been underneath the floorboards, like I kept saying. Could have been anywhere. But no, it has to be in the horse. Like, some people can just like jump to that. I'm like, where? Why?
The horse's neck does not detach either.
Yeah.
There must be some hole or something.
As you said, Patrick.
I found one.
Where?
Up its butt.
The mouth of the horse.
Okay.
I might be able to fit inside.
What? With your other form?
One moment.
she's annoying!
Yes. Good job, Iva.
But mind you, I will say, having heard other voices that she does, and like, I think she's finding her place in like the VA world, although she's been successful for a while. But like, something interesting about Erica Herlocker for me is that I never really liked her performances. But recently I heard her in the original Conception remaster. I can't remember which character she plays. It's a nice blue-haired girl. I think she's like Pisces. I was watching Care Level 0. And also this game that Erica Herlocker's in. She's actually not bad. I don't mind her so much. But I never liked her performance as Ann in P5. I didn't like her performance as Kaede. Oh jeez! Oh jeez! So whiny and annoying. Both Ann and P5 and Kaede Akamatsu are both incredibly whiny and annoying. And then also some other roles that she did that I didn't particularly like initially. I think she's in Death End Request, which I never played, but I watched, and I didn't like her performance in that. But again, it's just direction. If she plays like reasonable roles, like this one, and like the girl, the shy girl in Conception remaster, she's actually not that bad.
Iba, who owned this phone? The number is...
Kyoko, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the Kyoko voice either. I told Iba the number. The results came back quite clear. It's quite funny because like, it's not like I knew she was Kyoko and then was like, oh yeah, I don't like it. It was, I don't really like this Kyoko voice. Who the hell did it? Oh my god, it's her again.
A rental?
The owner is
So I got
unknown.
used to the idea that I just don't like
registered
her
under a
work.
false identity.
But there have been a couple of issues on those I actually don't mind.
Come on.
I actually quite like her.
Date, look at the device history.
I mean, she's not bad, it's just, you know, personal taste or whatever.
It's gone. No outgoing call history.
But I do think there's a lot of overlap, and also whininess, excessive whininess is never good. But whether that's her fault or direction fault, you could argue very much it's direction fault.
What about the incoming history?
Only one call. 9:02 p.m. yesterday.
Mizuki and Ota discovered the corpse at approximately 9 p.m.
Mizuki must have heard this phone.
That would connect to what we experienced in Somnium.
Like, most voice actors are really good, and I tend to remember the women more than the men. I'm a heterosexual dude, what can I say? And I liked a lot, I've remembered a lot, like, you know, Celeste is Lindsay Seidel, who's really good. I want to hear her in more stuff, but she doesn't seem to do that much. Obviously Cassandra Lee Morris is Aoi Asahina, and I can't remember her name, but she's in a lot of things. I know Junko's a voice actress. Apparently she had two actresses, but like the one that's dominant and then the one that is really Junko. She played things like mages in Hyperdimension Neptunia and various other things. I think like her name has like initials in it or some shit.
Who is the caller?
Their name isn't displayed.
And then like Saika Maizono was Dorothy Elias Fawn.
The number isn't in their contacts.
And
in fact,
other things.
There are no contacts.
Well, then get some spectacles.
No numbers at all.
The phone had no email addresses or browsing history that could be a clue either. Just one clue. The call at 9:02 p.m. I had Iva look up the number.
This number is also from a rental phone. No owner is registered.
It's so difficult to choose one's favorite voice actors. Like, honestly, one of my favorite voice actors probably isn't the best for a variety of different voices. They tend to do the same thing a lot, and that's Brian the Knickerbocker, but I really like her voice.
Oh.
Like, most of her characters are the same sound, but I really like that sound.
What happened?
The battery died. The screen turned off.
Whereas Kira Buckland, who's usually the other one that I say are my favorite two female voice actors, and I always specify female because I just don't know enough about the male voices to really give my favorite. I'd probably say Keith Silverstein. If I had to choose two male voice actors, it would be Keith Silverstein and Derek Stephen Prince. And that's funny, because Derek Stephen Prince plays a lot of really hateful characters, none more so than Kokichi. Oh, no worries. I didn't know you're Brazilian. It's interesting though, because you were talking earlier about the trouble with your brother and the ADHD and the health system, and I was wondering whether that was America's health system or somewhere else. Obviously, you know, I feel like that Dylan Moran sketch whereby now I want to try and say some Spanish, even though Brazil is Portuguese, obviously, because I don't know Portuguese, but I know some Spanish. And I don't want to come across as that guy. It's like, oh, you're Irish? Because that's like a Dylan Moran sketch. He's an Irish comedian that always talks about people talking Irish. It's like, oh, I'm going to tell you a joke because you're Irish. It's like, you know, because stereotypical shit. It's like, what the hell are we doing now? I was sitting on the horse's head. Call the number I just gave you.
Iva, remember the number I just gave you?
Of course.
Call it.
Here, there's no specialized treatment. Yeah. Connect.
My name is Kaname Date. I'm with the Metropolitan Police Department.
Are you an idiot?
They hung up.
Oh, you think so?
Why did they pick up to begin with?
What kind of low IQ ignoramus calls a suspicious number and says they are from the police?
I couldn't help it. I wasn't ready. I just said the first thing that came into my head.
Okay, now that's stupid. If there was a viable reason, which I wasn't necessarily going to assume that there wasn't, maybe there was some reasoning to like try and signal that you're a police officer or whatever, but the fact that he didn't think about it and he just said the first thing that came to his head means he's an idiot. Yeah, okay.
You told me to call.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would work.
Then that's why you're an idiot, because you didn't see that in itself is a compound of the issue. Their behavior like this on Twitch has made me ban and block people before. And that is the fact that if you don't have the perception and, you know, such short-sightedness to think ahead and, you know, consider the results of your actions and where you would go from there, and then it backfires on you for not having that consideration, and your response is, oh, I didn't think it would work, or don't blame me, I did nothing wrong, all I did was something that is clearly bloody wrong, especially as a detective. Like, if your response when you're found out to be doing something that is uncalled for is, hey, I did nothing wrong, I just did this, that's like your last sentence. The final thing I allow is if someone does something wrong, that they own up and that they are apologetic for it. Not that they fucking give an excuse as lame as I didn't think it would work. That's the whole problem. He's basically using his problem, which is you didn't think, yes, that's not a good thing, that is even more indictment. you should have thought before speaking. You should have thought before requesting. You should have thought, okay, if this works, what is my reaction? What is my answer? Not, I didn't think. That is damning. What the heck? And I've had that experience with people before where like they try to backseat. Backseating isn't really welcome, right? Across Twitch, as a general rule, it's not really welcome. They insist on backseating. They insult the streamer for the fact that they're not paying attention to their backseating, which is not wanted in the first place. Then the streamer does eventually do what they are whining like a child in chat for over many minutes. They found out to be wrong, found out that the backseating doesn't actually help. Their response isn't, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have backseated, I shouldn't have insisted, I shouldn't have insulted your intelligence, I shouldn't have been a fucking nuisance for the last 5 minutes, I shouldn't have done all this sort of stuff, and I'm sorry for being wrong. Their response is, I don't know, I was just trying to help. Why were you trying to help? Nobody wanted you to try to help, and then you were wrong as well, and then your response isn't to apologize, but is to then say that? Awful.
Disappointing.
Be your fucking boss. The Buck's fucking your boss. Maybe.
There is no other word for it.
You're telling me.
Yeah. Well, you're the one who did it. Can you call it again?
Iba, can you call it again?
Like, I don't mind people being wrong. I don't mind people making mistakes. But if the moment for you to own up and you aren't there, and your response is even more shit, like, my logic is that this fault of mine exonerates my action, but it doesn't. It further damns you. Get out. You know?
I'll be ready this time, I swear.
How dare you?
Are you sure?
And I'm talking about banning and blocking people that I see in other channels, because I can't mod them, but I can do something here.
Yeah, trust me.
And I don't want that kind of behavior here, so I often deal with it elsewhere. And that's something that I've been on top of more recently, is keeping a log on things.
The number you have dialed is no longer in service.
Damn, call deny.
Call deny?
That service?
Yeah, call denied.
What?
Oh, the thing Reika from the Cabaret Club did to your number.
Okay. Who is Reika again?
Damn, you remember that?
What cell tower did that call connect to? Call Reika. Who's the person we called? Why was the phone in the horse? I mean, we know why. Why the horse specifically, I have no idea, but to hide it from you. Well, I suppose we don't really know why the call was needed. Yeah, let's try that.
Unknown. But it does appear to be deliberate.
Yeah.
Did the culprit do this, or did someone else? And for what specific purpose?
What cell tower did that call connect to? Oh, don't tell me this is... This is starting to sound a lot like DRV3. The first... I don't want to spoil too much about DRV3, but basically, or anything really. I mean, I know I talked about Karakia in the third trial and all that, but I mean, that's what I mean by it's very difficult to avoid saying things. But I do want to talk about this. The reason for the phone in the horse reminds me of a similar setup as the first trial in Danganronpa V3. Because the first murder for Danganronpa V3 was to get someone's attention to walk over to a particular part of the room where they were killed. So if the intention for the phone was to attract whatever the fuck her name is, you know, the woman who died, and we saw her dead body on the horse, Mizuki's mother, so that she would go over to there, so that she would be killed or something. That could be a reason, I feel, for it. What cell tower did that call connect to? Who's the person we called? Koraiken. Well, we don't know who the person is we called, but that therefore might be what I want to do first.
Probably someone involved in the incident.
And leave this place, you idiot. Iris.
They hung up as soon as they heard you mention the police.
Her mother? Kazumi's, or Kazuki's, whatever the Mizuki's mother. I don't get Japanese names well, I really don't. Her mother, as soon as they heard you mention the police.
Then refused further incoming calls. That behavior is at the very least suspicious.
What? Let me read that again. Probably someone involved in the incident. They hung up as soon as they heard you mention. Yeah. And this is the sort of thing where I'm like, hold on, let's hear him out. What was his reason for responding as the police? Does he have one? And then he found out not to have one? Now he's an idiot. But there could be a reason, like the idea of, do they want that kind of reaction to implicate that the person responding doesn't want to talk to the police because they have something to hide? This could be a viable reason to behaving in that way. Thus, on its own, the action of responding is this is the police and expecting perhaps a hung up isn't so stupid. But the fact that he didn't think about it is stupid. What cell tower did that call connect to? Call right.
What? Why?
I don't know, it's in the fucking list.
I want to hear her voice.
Okay.
She put you on call deny.
Can't you try from another line?
I can, but I won't. Use a payphone if you want to call her.
But yeah, basically when Erica Herlocker's voice isn't whining, I actually quite like it. I don't have my own phone. As long as I'm within range, I can use Iba to make any call I need to. Whether it's a traditional line or Nile message, I can have Iba help me. Also, in Death End Request, she had a particularly deep voice. Like, she's definitely an actress. She's good at her job. But, I didn't particularly like the deep voice either. I like this. I like this, and I like her shy voice, which is what she does for Conception. Iba's connected to my mind wirelessly as well. So even when she's outside of my eye socket, I can talk normally. Okay, sure. What cell tower did that call connect to?
Near 3rd Street, Shinjuku.
That's a wide range. Can you tell if they called from a smartphone?
They did. I can tell from the number.
Does it have GPS?
The phone is likely capable of that function, but it has been disabled. The power also appears to be off. I cannot connect from any line. Because you blew it.
What? Should we go to Shinjuku? Let's go. We'll start.
There would be no point to that now. The recipient is alerted to our presence and likely on the move.
Right. Iba, let's get going. There's nothing more here.
Where are we going? Iris's house?
Yeah, I'm curious.
About your prophecy? Absurd. It was nothing.
No, it could have been an alternate reality.
Let's hope so.
A projection. Prophetic, as he says. That is a sound strategy. It's definitely worse than not saying anything. Saga in Residence, Saturday, 10:30 p.m.
Coming!
Are you?
Dante!
Date, you have confirmed that Iris is safe. Are you done here?
I know.
Calm down, girl. Iris is looking at me impatiently. That doesn't look impatient to me. Looks quite calm.
Hey, Iba. What kind of furniture always catches a cold?
An absurd question. Inanimate objects cannot be afflicted by viruses or bacteria.
You could at least let me tell my joke.
What is your jack? A cushion. I don't get the jack. A comforter. A comforting sofa. It's a sofa. Large breasts behind the reception desk. Large breasts. It's a comfortable sofa! Yes. Yes it is. You know there are supposed to be hidden items as well. A dining table. But they're supposed to be in the Somniums, right? There's a door in the back of the room. Telephone in the corner. Ooh, can I call that? There's a drawing on the wall. Did Iris draw this as a child? Acting like she's not trying to. You can see the trees in the sky outside. Trails in the sky. Lamp. It's for lighting. Indeed it is. The ceiling fan is spinning. They must be excited to see ASAP. A wooden shelf. A plant.
Hey Iris, do you like bigger speakers or smaller speakers?
Bigger, I guess.
Could you say I like them big?
What?
Why?
Please?
I like them big?
Again, please?
I like them big, Date.
Thank you.
You are a despicable man, you know that?
Yes. And the fact she was willing to go along with it. A microwave. Probably just to shut him up. Kitchen counter. Bookshelf. There are no books in it, but it's definitely a bookshelf. Sort of like non-alcoholic wine. Also, this is why, another reason why I like doing all of this stuff is because you never know which one's going to give a weird sort of like interaction. Standing lamp, the lights are on. So there's value to trying to do all of them because you don't know which one is going to be. A bookshelf near the wall. Some other games I might not go for every single possible item. But this one, you know there's a lot of story hidden behind random items which are not clear until you try it. There's a calendar and a strange object on the shelf. Cool. What was that? Did I miss something over here? Unless it's just cupboard. Oh, cupboard. A lot of dishes. Okay. Where's your mom? Yes, indeed.
By the way, where's your mom?
She left earlier.
Oh, God.
She got a Nile message from someone.
Really? A Nile message, huh?
She looked kind of panicky, too.
Oh, my God.
Where did she go?
Don't know.
This is not a good idea.
She didn't tell me.
She should have. What the heck? Oh, well, how are you?
Date! You came!
Okay, you're gonna keep talking about that. And moving like that. Okay.
But aren't you a little early?
Are you serious? This game is deliberate with its phrasing. It really is. They knew that I would pick up and most people would pick up on all these lines.
Huh?
Yeah, that.
You said you would play Shovel Forge with me tomorrow.
No, I didn't.
No, he said he'd go on a date with you.
I did promise to go on a date with you.
Tomorrow? It's not even midnight yet. I kept my promise by staying home, so you need to keep your promise, Date. I'm hop, happy.
Good.
Hop, rabbit goes hop.
Yeah, the FBI is looking at this, indeed. It's not advisable to be too problematic. The fact that he is constantly being, as you mentioned and I've mentioned too, on watch, because Iba relays everything, makes it not a good idea.
The Wild Bunny by Sander Cohen. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. I hop, and when I hop, I never get off the ground.
Hop, 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 rabbit goes hop.
It's my curse, my eternal curse. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. It's my curse. It's my fucking curse. I want to take the ears off. Please, take them off. Please.
Like that.
Why do you ask?
Because Sandra Cohen.
Oh, well, you see...
Because I saw your dead body in a dream. Are you seriously going to tell her that?
You hush.
I've never played Bioshock, but I enjoy watching the series.
Hmm?
It's not my kind of game. I don't like shooters.
Want something to drink?
But I do enjoy watching Bioshock. It's pretty cool.
No, sorry. I should be going.
What?
But I've already
Leaving
seen it. I don't care to see it again.
Yeah, I have some work to do.
Well, will you at least watch my stream at 1?
1 a.m. really is when you start?
Stream?
Can you stop talking about stream when I'm streaming?
Don't you remember?
Yes, I know you're a streamer. Bloody hell.
I'm an internet idol.
Yes, you
And
are.
you're gonna stream online?
Yeah.
At 1 in the morning.
Yeah, 1 is late.
Yeah.
You're a young woman. You shouldn't stay up so late.
Oh, jeez, you sound like an old man.
Because he is an old man.
It's fine. Today isn't for work, it's just a personal stream.
Okay.
That's not the issue.
And tomorrow is Sunday.
The day isn't the issue either.
Anyway, please watch, okay? I'll ask you about it on tomorrow's date.
Oh god, there's gonna be a quiz? Oh.
Fine.
Alright. I bet there won't be a quiz on it.
I have been thinking.
Oh god, don't do that. That's dangerous.
I am glad that nothing bad happened.
Are you? I thought you'd be miserable.
Yeah, you're right.
Because sometime real soon,
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
I remember that. Iris's words came to me. I stepped down hard on the accelerator. Don't do that. Otherwise you might take her place. Day 3 Sunday, Gyuk AI. Police headquarters, Sunday 9:37 a.m. I've been thinking about taking more breaks in my streams, and this game is so like nice and like chill, even though it is about murders and shit, that I kind of like taking breaks in this one especially. And this is nice music, so if you don't mind, I think this will be a good time to do that. So I'll put on the break screen, but I'll leave this music up. The music is pretty good, and it'll take a few minutes. See you soon. Okay, apologize for the wait. One of the things, there are so many things that I want to get used to that are good practices for streaming, but they're not naturally comfortable for me to do. One of them is to have more breaks. I'm more of an appreciate relay on like how I should structure my breaks and how you guys feel about it. But also raids at the end. Like both these things, A, they're supposed to be healthier. B, it allows me to do more ads so I can get more pre-roll time for you guys so that, you know, anyone coming in doesn't have to worry about having to see an ad immediately. Which I know I buy turbo. I pay for turbo. Did I write in chat today? If I haven't. Oh no, it doesn't show up. It just shows those up. You can't see my turbo icon. But if I... It's very different when it's your own page, isn't it? I'd like to show that I have turbo with the badge, but I don't think I can do that. Instead I have moderator stuff. Because it's my channel as opposed to another channel. But yeah, breaks and raids are something that or at least hosts are something I want to do more often, but it's a whole catch-22 situation because, you know, you want to benefit from the pre-roll time with the ads and stuff like that, but you don't want to, and you want to be able to take breaks so you can, you know, do better streams, but you don't want to alienate and push away the people that are already watching, you know? So there's a balance there, and there's another balance of like, you know, you want to do raids, you want to do hosts, but you want to make them meaningful, at least, you know, have a few people, like yesterday, so that you can actually carry something and it'd be worthwhile rather than just a one-man raid thing and it can be laughed at, right? So trying to work those in more with the new year, new decade, you know, it's like a resolution in a way, you know, kind of doing that a little more is a challenge. It's one I hope to, you know, proceed with, but yeah. So hopefully that wasn't too long, is my summation and all that. I know it was quite a while, and I made food, and I rested up and all the rest of it, so we're all good here, but yeah. About an investigation about the phone, anything else to report about Mizuki? Which one of those? What else they want to tell her about?
She was returned to the hospital after the sync. She'll probably be hospitalized for a while.
Strange.
Yeah.
Mizuki's phone is at home, Date. The GPS and Wi-Fi access point confirm this.
She went home by herself?
Possibly.
But why?
Unknown.
But how? Anything else to report about the investigation about the phone? I suppose we can just go with this. It's really generic.
About Renju.
Renju?
Yesterday I told you he vanished after he was questioned.
Oh, really?
Well, we found him.
Found him?
Where?
Central Hospital. He was brought there from a traffic accident.
Oh, he was in the pilot. It's even more suspicious. Because he might have been the truck driver.
He's unconscious and it's not looking good.
Okay.
Could it be?
Capitol Highway?
Oh, you heard about it?
Yeah.
We heard the report on the radio last night.
I can't believe it was about Renju.
About Renju.
Date, you should go talk to him.
Really? But he's unconscious.
He is Shoko Nadami's former husband, after all.
Is this not the same person? What is going on?
He might have some information.
And like that line about he is Shoko Nadami's former husband after all. This line is like very sketch, because the whole idea is perhaps he was never really Shoko Nadami, but your husband, but you were. And then again, he would have had to change her memory too. Maybe there's a way to do that.
But he's still asleep, isn't he?
Smack him across the face and wake him up.
Because that worked so well with, you know, our girl Mizuki.
You're his friend, right? He'll understand.
But then again, you can't hit women.
Come on.
About the investigation about the phone. Wait, what's the left one? What's the number?
There's been no progress, as usual. The people at the main office are so incompetent. The smartphone you brought in yesterday is still our only lead. Hopefully there'll be a breakthrough.
I really don't want to do this one because I feel like it's our leverage to get back at her leverage for not telling us about what happened 6 years ago. But if it's our only option...
I asked HQ to look into it. They found a few things. First, the owner was Shoko Nadami.
It was Shoko's phone?
Yes. Her face was registered in the phone's facial recognition authentication.
The facial recognition. Who called it?
Who called the phone?
Sorry, we don't know that yet. They called from a burner phone.
A burner?
They didn't register a name.
I can make a deduction with this information.
You can make a hazard a guess?
We know that the phone belonged to Shoko.
Right.
Whoever it was made their call at 9:02 p.m.
Are you... She knows you're staring at her legs and change and cleavage, and she likes it. Yes, she's very Miss Robinson. Are you seducing me, Miss Robinson type thing? Very seductive, which is like over the top. She's very clearly. I mean, I'm trying my best not to. This doesn't appeal to me compared to say Mizuki. It's way too vulgar and intense. It also is like almost like trying to be more reason why she may well be the culprit, because she wants to play into our or my hormones and blur my thinking so that I'm not as clear about my thoughts as possible, to deduce that she is hiding information, you know, like she should be telling us and stuff like that.
After Shoko was killed.
So they took it off her dead body.
I believe we can make an assumption here.
I don't think we can ever make an assumption anywhere, because that's how you run into problems. Because I may, you know, assume something and it ends up being something completely different.
The caller probably wasn't a murderer.
See, even that, like, what the fuck? Oh! Okay. So, before we continue, why did they hang up? Was it because they couldn't say, damn it, I ruined it, fuck. Was it because they didn't want to speak to the police? Or because they couldn't? So I'm thinking, maybe it wasn't, the illusion was that they didn't want to speak to the police, but actually the answer was that they couldn't speak to the police because Mizuki has the phone.
Why would they call the phone of the person they just killed?
They're not calling to it, they're calling from it.
Maybe. But the culprit might have been trying to get Mizuki to call.
Yeah.
So that they can bring her to the scene.
What? What? Oh. But that's not call. That's pick up. I think I'm supposed to understand it that they may have called Mizuki to get her to the scene. Not get Mizuki to call. Because in order for her to call, she has to use that phone. If she's at the phone, she's already at the scene. Doesn't make any sense. It's gotta be call Mizuki with that phone to get Mizuki there. Mizuki didn't call it, but she may have taken it.
But then why hide the phone? They would have left it somewhere easier to find.
True.
What? Who called it?
But either way, our mysterious caller is suspicious. Consider this. They did not register the phone under their real name. And also, they hung up as soon as Date mentioned he was a cop.
Yeah, but there's this part about whoever has the phone now. Like whoever is they called has the phone. That person I believe who has the phone is Mizuki. Not this phone, but the one that we tried to call with it.
And on top of that, they blocked Dante's number and turned off the phone.
God damn it. So, see, this is confusing the heck out of me. And I'll tell you why. We have one phone which was inside the horse. We used that phone to call another phone who is which is currently in possession by someone who I might think is Mizuki. Mizuki. God damn these names. Mizuki. So there's two phones in question. There's the one that's in the horse that we took out the horse that we now have possession of. And there's the other phone, which is the one I think Mizuki has. That's about as far as I know. And then they talk about one phone, and I'm like, which phone are they talking about? Which one of those two are they talking about? Because they're talking about the one that Mizuki has, if it's presumable. It may not well be. The one that isn't the one that we have. So how do we know this?
The blame lies entirely with Date.
Yes, the call does, but the call wasn't necessarily bad.
I suggest cutting his salary.
I'll cut your battery.
Do it. I'll plug in somewhere.
Anyway, we have to identify the caller. If you don't want your salary cut.
Nice.
Fine.
An RC car. Boss's childhood friend Mario.
Hey, lady! Welcome! Good to see you, girl. How are you?
We're trying to understand a story between two phones, and I'm getting confused as hell because you have one phone that was stuck at the scene of the crime. This is murder mystery, by the way. And another phone that we tried calling. There's my food. I have to go and pick it up. I'll return with more information. Also, I ended up doing more than the additional hour for your sub yesterday, so that's all good. But I didn't actually remember to use the timer for it. Doing well today. Hope you are too. I've never seen this game before. It's called AI Somnium Files. It's by Spike Chunsoft. Spike Chunsoft were also developers of many awesome games, including Danganronpa. So Danganronpa is a series that I have loved for a long time. I have a lot of different. My quilt is merchandise of Danganronpa. It's not specifically theirs, but it's like it's a red bubble thing that has art from the game on it. My wallet is Danganronpa based, and also these emotes. I have a few other things that are Danganronpa based as well. I have a jersey. I have some collected memorabilia. This is the second game. This is like the full version, the collector's edition kind of version, unopened. I absolutely love Danganronpa. And in the same spirit of Danganronpa, this game's also about murder. This is a replica of Kaide Akamatsu's bag from DRV3, Danganronpa V3. I have a lot of different things. You get that bag with the collector's edition. This is a jersey with the DRV3 logo on it. Danganronpa. Team Danganronpa. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I very much enjoy their work. Yeah, no, that's really nice. I surrounded myself with their stuff. So this is the latest game. They produced 2 games last year. That I know of, maybe others as well. But the 2 big ones that were released were Zanki Zero and this. And I wanted to play this for quite a while, since it came out like about 6 months ago, maybe. It's like I said, I'm a big fan of Danganronpa, and that's why those emotes are all Danganronpa characters. So this is very new. This is a new IP. It's pretty interesting. You're a detective this time. There's no school shenanigans like Danganronpa is. So yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Flag with big catch on it.
It's good luck, you know? Mm-hmm. Whether it's catching fish or catching criminals.
Oh, indeed. The metaphors in this game and the humor is very apparent. A sober restaurant door curtain. Tanuki statue. Volleyball, soccer ball. Oh, look, they're now specifying them. I'm pretty sure the first time that we saw these, they weren't specified. They were just sports ball, both of them.
Looking at that reminds me of my old boyfriend from high school.
You said that about the soccer ball yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, that just reminded me of his balls. Because of the size, you know?
No.
That sounds like a serious medical condition.
That's actually, it's funny. It's not very funny, but I'm really glad you're playing something you enjoy. Thank you, Laney. I'm really glad you're here to witness it. I haven't seen Yurtman in a while. I hope he's alright. It'd be nice to see him too again. But it's great to see you. And Petri's here, and we have other people here. It's a lot of fun. It's good. But yeah. It's always nice to be able to showcase some of my favorite developers' work and stuff. Yeah, indeed. It'd be good. But it's funny they talk about this, sounds like a serious medical condition thing, because there was a time when my mum suggested that I go see the GP because I was really worried. I was worried because I was having some pain in my testicular region. Nothing serious, especially as it turned out, but I was uncomfortable and I didn't like it. So I went to see the GP. The GP is a woman. She'd probably retired by now. She was like middle-aged at the time, at least. But I was very concerned, so I got her to do a checkup. She's very kind to appreciate my concern, even though from a medical perspective she knew that it was nothing but a little trapped nerve or whatever, because there's a lot of nerve endings, and that there was nothing to worry about. And she explained how cancer, because I was worried it might even be carcinogenic, nothing of the sort. That she explained how in order for there to be signs of cancer, the ball has to enlarge 3 times the size in order for it to be really serious. It's a little, graphic, so I apologize for that. But yeah, like balls, just like breasts, I'm sure, are quite a delicate part of the body, and easily one can get concerned over issues that might be medical and problems. But yeah, it was good learning experience about how really something needs to be very serious and very wrong, like that level, like something caricature wise, for it to be a real issue to go see anyone about. Because I would have thought it wouldn't take something as dramatic and crazy as grow 3 times the size. I thought that would be a joke. Yeah, but actually in real life, like, apparently if you have cancer, testicular cancer, they do grow 3 times the size. So, yeah, it's huge. Oh! Oh my, I'm sorry. That must have been completely accidental. I had static shock. Earlier, the other day I touched the alarm controls on the oven, and I got a static shock. So, it definitely can happen in the weirdest of places. But, and of course, yes, nerve endings, for sure. It's a volleyball. My feeling is that this boyfriend that she talks about is completely made up. An electronic darts game. Snowboard.
I picked up snowboarding recently.
Oh, did you?
Oh? Why?
This really hot guy from Kabukicho invited me, so...
Right. Police poster. Boy band poster. A map on the wall. I really love it. It's something interesting. In a similar way, although I don't find this that I'm talking about anything sexual about it, like attractive at least. But there's something interesting about hearing or watching an actor of a certain sexuality, knowing their certain sexuality, but hearing them talk about something completely different. Because the actress for this woman is Allegra Clark, and Allegra Clark is very proud to be in a relationship with another woman for quite a few years. She's bisexual. She talks about it quite a bit whenever she's like around, question pops up. You know, like to her talk about a really hot guy, although she is attracted to guys apparently as well. When she's, you know, she's clearly not interested in guys, at least not right now, given that her relationship is with another woman. It's quite interesting. And it's the same thing with what is the name of the sitcom, the American sitcom? Barney, I think his name is, the character, whereby there's a guy that plays a very sort of like promiscuous sort of dude that really likes trying to chat up the ladies and all that sort of stuff, and is a ladies man, all that sort of stuff. And his real life actor is gay. Yeah, it's kind of funny. In a more attractive sense, I do like that whole women that dress up in perhaps male's clothing sort of feel. I remember there was an advert many years ago of this good-looking individual who had all their hair like just hidden inside this like sailor's hat or something. Maybe there was a little bit of like CGI work going on, but it was pretty convincing. And they like walked through this like navy boat hull till they get to the captain's room, and then they let down their cap, and there's a whole shimmer of hair, and you can see how I Met Your Mother. Yeah, How I Married Your Mother. Yeah. So like that's really cool. It's like you really do have to act if it's not you. Sort of thing. Public bathroom curtain. But that is what, you know, actors are implied to do. Oh, no, I don't want this. Stationary bike.
That thing's broken. Pedal and pedal, but the damn thing won't move.
Is she serious? I don't know. Is she? Is she serious? I was thinking about making a setup of like a camera that is over there. I don't know how to do it exactly, but I definitely thought about it. The idea of having a separate camera for my stationary bike, and I've definitely seen several channels that have channel point rewards for doing exercise, whether that's using the dumbbell. Snowlit, who I rated yesterday, she does this dumbbell thing that if there's channel points enough, then she'll do lifts of dumbbells. I know other people, Zalay, who's a Hearthstone streamer, has the ability, and not just him, I think others too, has the ability to, he has like this thing mounted above his wall, like it would be perfect for me right there for my doorway, if I could do it. I hate doing this sort of stuff. This is one of the exercises I absolutely hate and can't do. I've tried before, I absolutely hate it, I cannot do it. Where you have like a bar above you and you lift yourself up, you know, like that sort of thing. I can't do that for the life of me. It's horrific. But you know, that sort of thing. I'm still out of view with my camera. My camera's never where I really want it. But yeah, I have thought about using my stationary bike as part of my streaming setup. A bookshelf. It's full of files and binders, and I don't know what. If this channel ever becomes really successful, and by that I mean just enough to have a living out of it, therefore I have to pay taxes, sort of thing. In this country, unlike the US, I don't need to pay taxes until I'm earning quite a bit. But a lot more than I do. I only get paid every now and again when I manage to hit above the cap, the threshold for the affiliate, which is many months. So definitely not enough to ever need to pay taxes. But if this channel was successful, I would need to pay taxes. You know, what I'm trying to say is it would be more reason for someone in that position to do a sort of like channel points exercise bike thing, because basically that exercise bike or any exercise bike I'd get in the future would be tax deductible. Because it'd be part of the thing. Bags hanging on a rack. Inside the bags are masks, like for costume parties. I always check every single one that I can, because there's slow stories, and like the snowboarding thing, Camarocho.
I'm a sucker for
like
white
this.
wine. Shame you don't have an eye for it.
I have a right eye.
And a left.
Yeah. No. 99 wine bottles sitting on a wall, and if one white bottle was to accidentally fall, a matryoshka.
Hey, boss. Why are you always sitting on top of the desk?
Because I like to be on top of my work.
Okay.
You sit that way on the off chance you get the opportunity to
This is an
use
interesting
a pun.
part of the game. The game is called AI Somnium Files, and we are a detective that works as a sinker for the detective agency, the police, the Metropolitan Police or whatever. 6 years ago we had some kind of accident. Since then we've had amnesia. We don't really know what happened to us, though we can have our own, suspicions about it. One of the things that we've had ever since is this eyeball called Iba. We don't have an actual left eye ourselves. Instead, we have a replacement left eye in Iba, who, oh my god, his head turns, his eye turns. That's really cool. So you can see how currently, if you look at my character, Kaname Date, his right eye is a real eye, but his left eye, the hole for it, the ball, well, not the ball, the socket is shut because Iba is not in there. Iba functions as his left eye, and she's a program designed by people working for the detective agency. And she has all sorts of abilities, including being able to tap into Somniums and help us investigate. Has X-ray vision, all sorts of stuff that we use, and she's got her own character, her own AI, of which is Iba, which is Eric Herlock's character. Yeah. So that's what's his left eye. His left eye has been replaced with a mechanical helper. Probably. I've never watched Ghost in the Shell any, but yeah, it may well be. You said that way on the off chance you get the opportunity to use a pun. Boss's desk. There are stickers all over the front. She has a computer on her desk, that type that has a monitor built in. Yep. So my feeling is, I don't know, it's not true. Because some of these I've tried before. Coffee maker. I was wondering if I could only, I could, how do I speak? A lot of these items I have checked before in previous times that we've been in this room. However, I don't think it's just the new items that have story behind them. I think it's also some of the older ones. So I have to check every single one every time. It's not like I can just restrict it to the newer ones, I believe. There would be no point. That's not. Well, there's point in the car though, huh? I look crazy. That's not. I don't want to talk myself like an idiot. Absolutely not.
Let's play a word game. Okay, bring it on. Say white 10 times. White, 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 white. Think of your favorite cabaret girl. Now, what does a cow drink?
Clever. Clever. Very clever. Very clever. It's not what the mind will go to. I'm like, huh? Because it definitely made me go to what it wants me to go to, which is wrong. But I'm not gonna say it because I know it's wrong and I can stop before I say it. But I definitely thought of milk. Very clever. Cow drinks water, usually. But definitely thought of milk.
Milk.
Nice. Iba's outside my eye socket right now. But I can still see through her as though she were in my socket. That's because her body and my optic nerve are connected wirelessly. There you go, there's some more information. The connection of the optic nerve means that I can see whatever she sees, even when she's outside of me. There's a handsome devil. Or would I rather be an angel? That's a tough one. In any case, a gorgeous man is in Iba's sight. See, that's the cool thing. That's why you have to check everything, because they get really cool tidbits like that. A tombstone. Red.
That means rest in peace.
That's a card. That's a magic card. Magic gathering.
As in, sleep peacefully.
Who's it for?
Ma, from the host club.
Our RIP specifically refers to the Latin phrase requiescat in pace.
This game is very good. It's got a very good story. I mean, it's a game that, unlike Etrian Odyssey, say, has story first, and it does a very good job of it.
Boss is correct about the general meaning.
Mars Tombstone, I guess. And they're known for this. All the games, even Zanki Zero, which is a little more active, and this game, which is quite active too, they've got really cool gameplay aspects, and they're interesting and unique in each of them. Even Danganronpa. I mean, some people poo-poo the mini games, and there are some mini games that are better than others, and some that are pretty bad and notorious. But even that game has a lot of cool gameplay. They are games, and they have really cool gameplay. 999 is the same, and they're all different. Now, 999's gameplay is very much, you know, safe room stuff, escape room stuff. Like, it almost like brought escape room to be more popular, and how you have escape rooms actually able to go to in the world now. But Danganronpas are a bunch of mini games and like puzzle solving shit. But then that you can have like driving mini games in it and like all sorts of things. The main one is the truth bullet stuff, which you fire bullets of comments to refute or agree with certain phrases that you see. And then like Zanki Zero is a dungeon crawler, first and foremost, but you know, it's got interesting little quirks about regeneration of life and reusing of life and stuff like that. And then this game with its like interesting puzzle solution style, like first person or third person, moving around, testing stuff, and strategy and things. They're all really well made and really dynamic and really different and really interesting. They're not like, you know, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Neo, Sekiro, Temtem, Pokemon, Digimon. They're actually like, you know, really different from one another. Any other information about Shoka's phone?
All the history's been erased.
It's a really good game. It's a really good developer. One of my favorites.
There's nothing on the phone itself, but we can still.
I haven't played enough about this to give you a full assessment of how I feel about it, but I'm already, you know, really enjoying it.
I happen to have a friend at the cell company.
I imagine if I ever lose, which may very well happen, and I hope not, I'm gonna get frustrated and upset, especially if it's the first time. But that's just natural. I say natural. That's just me. That doesn't mean I don't like the game. The game's really good. But it's a story first game. Like almost all, if not all, Spike Chunsoft games are story first, as opposed to gameplay first. But that's not a problem, especially when the gameplay is also really good. And they are games, they're not visual novels, they're games.
The head office is looking into it now.
With a lot of gameplay. A lot more than people give credit for. Especially some people I've heard. Some even very, very big streamers. The biggest streamer I know who's played these games that I watched, who actually really enjoys them, and I'm really glad they do, even though they got rid of me. He said before that they're not really games, which is bullshit. They have a ton of gameplay. Absolute ton of gameplay. They're just not necessarily combat. This is also one of the wonderful things about Spike Chunsoft is it's really a game developer that knows that there's a lot more to gameplay than simply combat. A lot of games revolve around some form of combat-associated gameplay. Spike Chunsoft are above that. They don't need to fall into the caveat of combat to make a game. They can do it in a whole bunch of different ways. They're very clever. I love their work. The entrance. Yeah. The combat's great, and it provides a great role for a lot of games, but the fact that you have game developers like Spike that can actually go beyond that and not have to rely on that as a way of like moving things forward is really cool. What's sitting on the desk? Where else? Christmas tree. A decorated Christmas tree. That's been here since the first time I was in this room. Like, there are some relations, sure. There was a system similar to this in Danganronpa, where you'd find coins and stuff, but this is arguably better. Mysterious mask is displayed on the wall.
If you put that mask on, spikes come out that drink your blood.
Blah, please don't do that.
That sounds familiar.
Yuck. That's probably a reference. Serious mask. Yuck. That looks like a Welsh flag. That's kind of funny. There's a pennant adorning the wall. In adornation. Do I need to go to the menu? Is that why it's orange? What else is there? Okay, updated. Profession, well, Iris. Name, Iris Sugan. Sex, yes please. I'm a female. Age, 18. Birthday, October 26th. Ooh, 26. As you guys know, I'm going to be doing a special birthday stream on the 26th of January. For both my birthday and an incoming 600 followers. We're only 2 away. It's a shame we're probably not going to reach it, but, you know, whatever. It's still the best time for it. Profession, high school and senior internet idol, likes singing, dancing, the occult. Iris is Mizuki. Dislikes scary people. Hobbies, singing, dancing, let's plays. Skills, runs extremely fast. Well, so she's like Aoi. Overview, Iris is an internet idol, musician, belonging to the entertainment office Landscape. Her stage name is Aset, but her fans call her Tessa. She is Hitomi's daughter and good friends of Ota and Mizuki. Hitomi. Name, Hitomi Sagan. Sex, female. Age, 37. Birthday, May 11th. Profession, elementary school teacher, likes children, okonomiyaki. Friends, Iris, Mizuki. Everybody loves Mizuki. Dislikes antisocial people, war, sickness. Hobbies, reading, gardening, watching zombie movies. Skills, plays the video game involving shooting down alien invaders. Nice. So, it's not really a skill, but I mean, hey, why not? Why can't Space Invaders? Hitomi is Iris' mother and unmarried. Her parents died in an accident when she was 17. Oof. She raised Iris alone due to an injury in the past. She can't move her right arm. Ota. Name, Ota Matsushita. Sex, male, age 24. Birthday, June 8th. Profession, light novel author, self-declared, likes Aset, which is, you know, Iris Sagan. Chocolate. Dislikes Tessa's enemies, Iris Sagan's enemies. Preachy people. He seems pretty preachy to me. Hobbies, net idols, maid cafes. Schools, cooking, omelette rice. That is a skill. Driving, that is a skill. Sock puppeting. Yes, that's also a skill. Overview, Oda is Mayumi's son. An enthusiastic follower of Aset. He often pushes the boundary between skills and idols and fans. He writes his own light novels and gets editing advice from his friend Mizuki. Mizuki seems pretty clever. She's very attractive right from the beginning. It's shame she's like 12. I don't know why she's only 12. She doesn't sound, seem, or anything 12. But I really like her. Name, Mayumi Matsushita. Sex, female. Age, 54. Birthday, August 31st. Profession, part-time worker. Likes floral patterns. Excuse me, what? Don't do that. Ota. I would hope she likes her son. Takaro. It'd be kind of concerning if she didn't like her son. Dislikes witches. Everything that witch does. Okay, sure. She's talking about ASAP, by the way. That's what she thinks she's a witch. Hobbies, cleaning the shop, making soy sauce. Skills, everyday cuisine. That's a skill. Obscure puns. Okay. Overview, Mayumi is Ota's mother. Over 30 years ago, she and her husband took out significant loans to open Matsushita's diner near the Kawasaki district. She's been running the diner ever since. Lately, her memory has begun to get spotty. Indeed, like a calendar and shit. BL. Boys Love, a depiction of love and eroticism between men. Although it sounds vulgar, it's often a display of pure, sublime love, and there are many worthwhile works of art in the genre. Don't be so close-minded. Nile. A social networking service that allows you to exchange instant messages via smartphones and PC. My dream is to one day make stamps with this application. Sync. Photosynaptic neurocoupling. You send to the brain of the subject. The syncer syncs to the deepest level of the subject's subconscious and synchronizes with their synapses to collect data. Syncer. The agent that performs the C-sync, well, P-sync or sync. How about that? I really want to call it P-sync, but you know, they just call it sync. A-set, you bet. The kind of call and response game that A-set plays with her fans. Japanese idols often create a special cheer or slogan for their fans to memorize and chant at concerts. Oh, I see. So, as they make their way into your mouth, go blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. A-set's cheer works by A-set announcing a category and having her fan come up with 2 words that rhyme with A-set in that category. Shovel Forge. A masterpiece of sandbox video games in which you create structures by stacking cubes on a map. A sandbox game refers to games in which there are no story or goal, allowing the player to just relax and play. Yes. The name Shovel Forge is a parody of a popular game in the same genre, which I'll not mention for legal reasons. Oh, that's so cute! That's so cute! Oh, that's so cute. Seriously, because it's like they want to give love and respect, and they like, okay, we know, but we can't, you know, kind of thing. Oh, what's this right from? Anyway, Illuminati, a secret society allegedly found in Ingolstadt, Bavaria in 1776, originally just a private club of university professors and students, but now it has become, actually, I better stop now before I mysteriously disappear. Doujinshi. Fan-made books and comics that celebrate a particular franchise, usually erotic in nature. Ooh, I get into the eroticism. I don't have any, but I need to do some research, so please send some news. Adoin Kyoma. Oldest pen name, he came up with it by starting as a popular fictional character reference, then spelling out the name in hiragana? I thought it was hitagana. Never mind. Maybe that's because it's katakana. Whatever. Hiragana. Then changing letters to kanji, each letter of which containing a certain meaning. Like, that's the fucked up thing about Japanese. It's really cool, but it's also kind of fucked up. Is the fact that when you learn it, you don't learn it. You learn baby it, and then you learn toddler it, and then you learn adolescent it, and then you learn it. As in, like, hiragana, katakana, blah blah, and then finally kanji, and then like the real Japanese behind it. It's so fucking complicated that they need stages of premature languages to get to the line. Volatile solvent? Solvents. Liquids that vaporize at room temperature, toluene, acetone, and ethanol are volatile solvents. Oof. Yeah. Trunk, another word for the torso of a human body. We already read that one. Cloud storage, online storage utilizing cloud computing. To put it simply, you can imagine it as a storage device of the digital data on a network. TOA, time of arrival.
Sub! Woo! We had a sub yesterday. Thank you, lady.
Dedicated people who love your work. Also, abbreviation for sub-account. An account that is managed by the same individual as another main account. Yeah, that was the soft pop thing. Sync. C-sync. Or P-sync. Remember when Dante said, I'm used to syncing? Yeah. That was a pun. Dante's a sinker at ABIS, which that's why he made that comment. Yes, I'm used to syncing. Yeah. Dream in Latin, sueño in Spanish, the plural is somnia, and attaching the prefix in the prefix in, meaning non, or without, or sans, results in insomnia. Yes, I know. Keep saying that. Time in Somnium. Computer added a new feature to the sync machine that allows you to slow down time, but only works when Iba is standing still. Why? Simply put, it was a limitation in technology. When Iba is standing still, she and Dante are exchanging information at extremely fast speeds, which creates a sensation of time slowing down. But when Iba is moving, it's not possible for her to exchange information as quickly, because she has to use resources to move and interact with the environment. Imagine a giant boulder on top of a hill. If you hold it with both arms, it'll stay put. But if you only use one of your arms, the boulder will start to roll. Or more like programming and internet and packets and shit like that. Because depending on your bandwidth, like if you're Earth, maybe you have a stronger bandwidth, so you can deliver all the packets of data very clearly. But if you start to tamper and have a worse connection, then the packets start to break and the information is lost. It's not lossless anymore. And so it's not as quick. Because like this to me is really cool. This is like a game way of the game trying to explain similar understanding to things that are involved in the actual work of making games. And things like that. Underground. Ira said, although I don't really know that much about it, that's what it feels like to me. Ira said that she doesn't get many gigs. She is more popular in the underground music scene, which nowadays means the internet. Yes, that's done. History. In this context, incoming call history. Indeed. There's many things in the context, actually. Like the trunk. Slang for to insult, originally an American word, it has found its way to Japan. Oh, really? I did not know that. That it found its way to Japan. Jaco, a concert hall or event venue. Really? I didn't know that at all. Freemasons. Whoa! Look at that! A fraternity founded sometime between the late 16th century and the early 17th century. Publicly, they are an organization devoted to the improvement of moral character, but in reality, they are... Yes. Too much. Eye of Providence, a symbol from Christian theology, depicted as an eye enclosed in a triangle, providence meaning the divinity and guidance, and an eye that represents God's all-seeing eye and looks down on all of humanity. Originally, the Eye of Providence was not defined to be either right or left eye specifically, however, most depictions of the Eye of Providence today are drawn as the left eye. Head office, the top administrative office of the Metropolitan Police Department. Lendescape. A talent agency which Renju Okura owns. A lendescape is a curve represented by a radius to the power of 2 equals area to the power of 2 or some shit. Cos, like cosine, 2 theta? For the polar coordinates of x to the power 2 plus y to the power 2 in brackets to the power 2 equals a to the power 2 in brackets x to the power 2 minus y to the power 2. Well, we need someone like Talon to understand this shit. In the orthogonal coordinate system, if that's still confusing to you, don't worry, it's still confusing to me too. And mind you, I want to go back and watch Talon's playthrough of this, because he played this game, and he is a maths graduate of Oxford. Oh no, or is it Cambridge? I think it's Oxford though. Pretty sure it's Oxford. And so, yeah, he would probably know whether that's a real thing or just bullshit, or whether it's got any sort of like, and I don't necessarily mean just real, but even that whether the formulae makes sense. The curve has a shape like infinite, and in Japanese is called Renjuke, making it perfect for the name of a company Renju owns. Gag. A show, typically a musical performance, because what one might do if they actually know this shit is like, oh, it's garbage, you know, not worry about it. I don't know if it is. A show, typically a musical performance. Iris said that she does not get many gigs. Somnium 3, time limit and timies. Yeah, I managed to beat this, thank God. Without losing. Time limit Insomnia, because it was close. It was fucking close. I was right in understanding the power as well, so I made up for that. Because I made some mistakes earlier on. In the controls especially. I wanted to use my 30 to get rid of it, but I didn't do it right. Anyway, time limit. Insomnia, you have a time limit of 6 minutes. Time goes down by moving and ordering either to perform an action, mind the time, and unlock all mental locks within 360 seconds. A tiny is an item that affects the flow of time. You can obtain them after certain choices you make. Timies can potentially lower the time it takes to perform an action. You're only able to hold 3 timies. Picking up a timie when you already hold 3, replace 1. Timies disappear after use, but try to use them actively. Okay, so when it replaces one, I need to learn about this. When it replaces one, do you get to choose which one it replaces? Because the whole reason why I used the 30 was because I wanted to make space. But if it's going to replace it, if I get to choose the replacement, then I don't need to do that. And I need to know that. Going past 360 seconds, you can technically exceed the time limit if you are making the final correct choice for the final mental lock. Oh. That's nice. I like that. It's like the ball in like basketball. Like if they made a shot at the end of the buzzer, they can technically score off of it, right? Off like the final shot. If it's like a winning shot, then it makes sense. That works. That's a good idea. Even if time is winding down, if you make wise choices, you may still be able to clear the Somnium. Okay. But yeah, I can only exceed the time limit for making the final correct choice. I can't keep getting the right answer and win, can I? I don't think so. Like if I had started with 0 seconds, so no time at all, and then made the correct choices for every single stage, that wouldn't work because it's only the final. Day 2, Mizuki.
Yeah.
That's AI then. Iva, right? Yeah, it's Iva. Why is that showing Mizuki? Or supposed to be like Mizuki? This is Mizuki. Mizuki's waifu, you know? Let's save. We can go a little further, unless someone wants to make a sub, in which case we're more than happy to do an hour. Or however many hours, up to 10. Up to 6 subs, I should say. But, hence the timer above me. But yeah, otherwise it'll probably need to end soon. Ski, snowboard. I don't know if there's anyone that's viable for... Ooh! That would be nice. Yes, I would like that. We could possibly do a raid, if people are interested. Skis. I've been wanting to raid this person for a while. I think that'd be nice. Decent enough. Try and go.
That was a piece of evidence in a case
They know
about
me.
8 years ago.
I've been in their stream a few times.
A mathematics teacher used it to stab her boyfriend when she found out he was cheating on her.
She's currently playing the new Kakarot Dragon Ball Z, yes? I believe so. Yeah.
The triangular ruler must have come in handy for solving that love triangle.
Boo.
Love triangle. Like, what after this? Kind of at a loss. What the hell did he want from me? Boss is done. I'm done. Yeah, I can't do anything with that. Maybe I have to go to the door? It's on the other side. Let's go to chair. A chair. Like, the map is not available. Map would be triangle. It's not currently available, so I can't progress. Very strange. Can't click on my name. Is there something I'm missing? Cause like I clicked on the boss. Just start. Happy birthday, thanks.
Wasn't that party a while back? How long have you had that up?
Every day is like my birthday. Every day.
This is the kind of game,
a woman.
as they all will be, you know, with the whole story is important, therefore the game needs you to see certain things that won't let you leave until you've done everything that you need to do. So you change every day. Pumpkin created kind of like a checklist. But like, you think? Unfortunately, this game doesn't seem to have that gives me all that as well. It doesn't have one of those things like Danganronpa does. Oh, okay, Ibo, yeah. Oh, there we go. There we go. Ibo's sitting on the desk. Alright.
Date, you promised to go on a date with Iris yesterday. What exactly are you planning to do?
What? Seriously?
It's a social date.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not even like a date.
A man's promise is his bond. You absolutely must keep your word.
Have you ever heard of a white lie?
Also, it all talks words. This is an interesting part because, like, words depend on context and situation. Like, if a situation changes, you can't hold them to their word. So, like, you know, if developments happen, someone shouldn't feel guilty for changing what they were gonna do.
So, you're gonna act like it never happened.
That's not what I said. The day's not over yet. If I go see her and socialize for a bit, that's a date, right?
Oh, so you were not planning a real date then?
It was never a real date, but he said social. That's what I said when we were talking about it in, like, the playground, right?
No, of course not.
But it doesn't need to be. It's just friendship.
If you say so.
You
Oh, you're
almost
trying to
sound
be funny.
relieved, Iva.
Pardon?
No, she's being coy.
Are you jealous?
Impossible! I could never be jealous of a silly little human like her.
Like her.
Uh-huh. Sure.
About the investigation about Mizuki.
I am watching the case file of Shoko Nadami as it is updated in real time. Currently, it appears as though there has been no significant progress. Hey Date, why not go to that bar you haven't been to in a while?
Bar?
Marble in Golden Yokocho.
Hello. I see. Mama runs Marble. She's an informant who knows just about everything there is to know about the criminal underground. Maybe she knows something.
There are many points of interest surrounding Mizuki, but we will need to speak with her directly.
I hope she gets better soon.
Summary. I have 3 places to check. Central Hospital, where Renju is. I don't know if he's in any condition to talk, but it might help. I could also go home and see Mizuki or get information from Mama and Marble.
Iba, let's move.
Okay. Roger that.
There we go. So, we have a whole bunch of things to do next time. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. It's been a pleasure streaming for you guys. We have just about hitting the 4-hour mark. Yeah, really enjoying this game. I hope to show it again. I have things to do. I need to shower and shave still today. I woke up quite late. I've done everything I need to do for tomorrow. In regards to Etrian Odyssey, I've been doing a lot of farming for that game. Every one of my characters is level 80. I've been able to unlock one of the quests so I can start doing quests again, assuming I can do the next one. Hopefully I haven't lost any quests in the time between my last set of quests and the current ones, because there have been quite a few things that have happened in between. I've acquired a whole bunch of different items. I have over 450,000 Pental, so I'm close to actually buying a really cool upgrade for almost 500. It'll be a fun stream. Hopefully I'll see you there. But let's go try and raid someone, huh? Cool. It's a really good game. And I want to try and get as far as thing that we did at the beginning each time, if possible. I don't know if that is possible. Depends how this game is structured. Either way. Alright. Have a good rest of your day. See you tomorrow. And see you soon. Bye!